All right, Matt. Do you know what time it is now?
It's time to roll for initiative.
It's time to roll for initiative.
Yeah. What dice is that?
The Modern Office. It is a fantastical world of heroes and villains, where everyday people like you and me overcome nearly impossible odds using their wits and their talents. This is the tale of three ordinary office workers who thought their abilities and strengths were only limited to a one-page resume, until they were somehow sucked into a magical D&D world because that's the easiest way to utilize D&D game mechanics. Introducing Chaz Harmon, the underachieving project manager with a soft spot for hard seltzer. Freddie Gorf, aka Forber Gorf, the overeager social media specialist with a Twitter account even more ironic than his graphic tees. Then there's Karen Pardue, the ever-vigilant HR representative with a heart bigger than the employee's handbook she keeps at her side. It's the classic tale of good versus evil, sprinkled with a healthy dose of bureaucracy and red tape. These are the adventures of the Office Drones.
Hey, everyone. As a little post-spooktacular express treat, the boys here at DT HQ wanted to offer you all a look into a show that we've been doing pretty much since lockdown began last spring. As you've heard now a ton about this month, we have a Patreon. The bread and butter of that Patreon really is our premium feed, which, at least for now, is all dedicated to this separate D&D real play podcast that we do called The Office Drones. You've heard now about the other tiers and the bonus content, yada, yada, yada. So instead of going through that, I wanted to instead give everybody a glimpse into what this show actually is. Because despite how stupid a concept it started as, I'm super proud of what this thing has turned into. So today, I'm going to give you all a very special, belated, spooktacular express gift in the form of a massive director's cut of the first major story arc of our Real Play podcast. Included in this enormous smash cut is all of the story beats, the world building, goof 'em up highlights that consists throughout the first 6 episodes. I'm also going to cut in some commentary in between each episode just to set up a little bit more context and some fun little Easter eggs from the show. So starting from the top, we have our initial one-shot campaign that was first released to the main feed nearly 2 years ago in Christmas of 2019, titled DLC episode Forbegorf and the Office Drones Do a Dungeon. I don't really know why I called it Forbegorf and the Office Drones. It was just kind of like a Josie and the Pussycats thing. Rolled off the tongue. Anyway, this episode was kind of a reaction to the hugely positive feedback that we'd received from a much older episode all the way back earlier that year called episode 25, Hold That Conference Call, I'm Jungling, which is where we first created these characters as just like a normal DT episode bit. It's funny. I think we've talked about this before, but like as a fan of real D&D podcasts like The Adventure Zone, Not Another D&D Podcast, a lot of us were really hesitant to start a D&D podcast. I know I felt like there were just so many out there already that were doing this so well, and it was just kind of creating a bit of a glut. So, we were like, well, do we do this? So I kind of, basically did this as a joke for the holiday season. Therefore, I made this as like stupid and silly as possible by flavoring all of these characters after this like super corporate-y jargon and other, bullshit terms that I've picked up in my day job. By the way, for those of you who don't know me personally that are listening, I've worked for like 10 years in jobs across like advertising, marketing, tech, the healthcare space. I've heard plenty of corporate-y nonsense. So you can tell I was working through some stuff. Funny enough, I found this, very simple one-shot campaign on a Reddit thread called The Wild Sheep Chase. And the idea is this: the adventurers would encounter this talking sheep who turned out to be a powerful wizard that was polymorphed into a sheep by his assistant. And his assistant basically took over his operation and polymorphed all the other people living in his mansion, and was and the idea is the adventurers have to go and take control of the staff, basically. it's easy, it's light. It was breezy enough to provide for a couple of easy fights, a few built-in skill checks. So I kind of just gave them the very like hand wavy narrative, like, you're magically transported into a fantasy world. Just kind of deal with it. Whatever, you're here. Of course, as it often happens, doing something ironically turns into doing something earnestly. And by the end of writing this campaign, I fell in love with this idea of turning our, mundane, stupid corporate jobs into these very real D&D classes. It just worked so well that Kyle's well-intentioned HR manager acts as the group tank, because she's trying to protect her coworkers from the perils of litigation, or she's buffing her team with opportunities to improve company culture. Anyway, this first episode is a recut of that episode, which again was intended to just be a one-shot campaign. I later retconned this to be a part of the larger Office Drones storyline. So you may notice at the end of this episode, it sounds marginally different than the rest. One, that's because it was recorded months later. But two, that part was actually done after we started Office Drones and then went back. So I spliced in the retconned version that was actually part of a later episode. Anyway, it'll make sense when you hear it. Enjoy the director's cut edition of Forbergorf and the Office Drones Do a Dungeon.
I'll go ahead and start with Chaz Harmon IV. So Chaz, what you knew him as a project manager, he is being reskinned in this session as a bard. So I am here to just make everyone, do a little bit better, because that's what I'm here for. Skills that you think a bard would typically have, like bardic inspiration, I am reskinning those as risk mitigation. So instead of adding a D8 to attacks as a bardic inspiration, I'm helping you mitigate the risk of battle by either adding D8s to or against your skill checks or your attacks, what have you. My weapon of choice is a Lenovo ThinkPad, which I can use on the go to I don't know, probably attack and melee is probably what that is.
I think my thought was it was ranged.
Is it ranged? Because I'd like to be ranged.
Yeah, I thought son of nepotism Chaz would have an Airbook, a Mac Airbook, MacBook Air.
No, I'm not the most loved Chaz.
He has a personal MacBook, but a professional Lenovo.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I see.
Yeah.
Some of my other things that I think are important. Another good one. So I did pick a feat, and Andrew and you all don't know about this. So the feat that I picked up was I took the lucky feat, which allows me to re-roll 3 of my rolls, and I'm calling it just straight up nepotism. Because Chaz, I want to make it clear, Chaz is not actually lucky. He was born into this role, and that's good for him.
I mean, that sounds pretty lucky to me, Todd.
You know what? He was lucky to be born with this last name.
He won the lucky dice roll early on in life.
Some of the chief spells that I'll probably be using today will be my favorite cantrip is feedback loop, which is vicious mockery. So just trapping someone in a feedback loop is probably the best thing that you can probably say as they just go mad. Another good one, act globally, think locally, as comprehend languages, I think is very good. Throwing someone into a tight timeline, which is known as Bane, so you just make them worse at what they're doing.
Good.
The masterpiece that Andrew did today, he took the enthrall spell and reskinned it as under promise, over deliver, which I think is just very, very good. So that is Chaz Harmon IV, your project manager here just to help everything go a little bit better without actually doing much.
Great, yeah. So I am Forbergorf, as explained earlier. That is both the social media handle and the name is Forbergorf, the overly excited and quick to please social media manager. I am being reskinned from a social media manager as a ranger. Some of my favorite things from this reskinning are that I get to slide into the DMs as a favored enemy.
I hate it.
Which I think is very good. And I also have a personal brand where I can choose a favored terrain as a ranger.
Nice.
My hunter archetype is being reskinned as an influencer. So that I can use my viral marketing skills, which is what I am reading is Colossus
Bow and arrow.
Slayer. Yeah.
Bow and arrow.
Nice.
And I get an editorial calendar. As far as my equipment goes, I have a chain shirt and a BlackBerry because apparently Andrew is still in 2011.
It just feels right that you have a BlackBerry.
Yeah. It doesn't feel wrong. I don't know that it feels right, but it doesn't feel wrong.
BlackBerry is definitely my favorite device to give to fictional characters because it says a lot with so little.
My favorite part of this reskinning on my side, though, is definitely the spells that I have. Because instead of ensnaring strike, I have trending, and instead of hunter's mark, I have added, which I love. I just get to at people through this whole campaign. But my personal favorite, the coup de grace of this reskinning, is my speak with animals skill or spell, which is not speak with animals; it is connect with millennials.
All right, and I will be playing as Karen from HR, a level 4 HR director, which is a reskinned paladin. She will go into battle wielding her clipboard, which deals 1d8 slash damage, and her
Because of course it does.
of course it does, and her employee handbook, which adds 2 to her armor class. She has the safe work environment fighting style, which is the reskinned protection fighting style, which is very, very good. And just some things I love from her spell slots that she's carrying are culture fit, which is protection from good and evil, conflict resolution zone, which is sanctuary, which is very, very good. Leadership training is reskinned bless. Escalation is a reskinned divine favor. And performance improvement plan, which is my favorite, as a reskinned searing smite.
Nice. Good. That one feels so right.
It's a very aggressive performance improvement plan.
A mysterious meeting appears on your Outlook calendars. 4 p.m. Thursday afternoon. The title is simply Update: Important. No description. You look at the attendee list, and the only 3 attendees are Chaz Harmon from Project Management, Florbergorf from Marketing, which, god damn it, he still hasn't changed his name, and sweet old Karen from HR. So you all enter the conference room at 4 p.m., and you all kind of come in at the same time, and you see there's the monitor in the room. It's on, but it's just scrambled black and white mess, like the TV is on, but on the wrong channel. You sit for many minutes, long enough for it to be uncomfortable, and you hear a faint voice. Anybody out there? Hello? Need your help? Channeling your energies. Be afraid. You all look around to see the room itself beginning to collapse. The walls are rolling up like a box being taken apart. As the walls rescind, the office you are used to seeing is totally gone. Instead, you see just a vast expanse of green, rolling fields scattered by leafy trees. Soon enough, all that remains is the 3 of you sitting at a conference table in an open field. Forbergorf notices his phone rumbles violently, and there's a little pop-up that says, "Welcome to a fantasy world. You're now roaming."
Oh, cool.
Just remember, the things that you can do that you did in your normal life definitely translate here, but probably in a different way. So don't be afraid. Also, it's $99 per minute.
There it is.
So Forbergorf and Chaz see in the distance. Well, actually, they hear first. They hear the sound of clattering hooves, surprised yelps, and a frantic bleating in the distance. Bleating.
Oh, with a T.
With a T. As it gets louder, you eventually see a sheep bounding towards you.
Aww.
It appears to be a regular sheep in every way. Fluffy white coat, black face, curled horns. It appears as though it's trying to talk to you, but all you hear is baa-ing.
I take a boomerang of the sheep.
Guys, Chaz, and is it it's Forbegorf, right?
Yeah.
This sheep is. Do you guys want to get over here? This sheep is acting funny. It feels like it's trying to talk. That sounds crazy, but
Chaz says, "Yep, I'm on my way," and I'm actually not on my way.
Hello? Hi, I'm not a sheep. I'm not a sheep. I am a person. Hello?
Yo, Chaz, Karen.
Acknowledged?
This sheep's a fucking dude. This isn't even a sheep.
What? Well, my name is Finithir Shinebright. Did you get that? Finithir?
Yeah.
Shinebright? Yes.
Is there an underscore? Do you have an underscore between those two, or is that just
I don't know what that
handle?
is. I'm going to move on. I am a wizard. I need your help. I think I know why you're here. And I can explain everything if you can please help me get out of this bit of a pickle.
Yeah. Why are you a sheep if you're a wizard? I didn't think wizards were sheep.
Yes. Well, that's very funny. Haha.
Well, you'll see the plot dictated this moment to happen.
Well, you see, I am a transmutation wizard, of course. And I'm sure you know what that is. So I won't need to explain what that is. So I one day I won't bore you with the details. I got turned into this by a very, very powerful spell, and I need your help into getting back a very powerful magic artifact that can turn me back into my normal form. And there's definitely nobody who has it. It's very safe. No worries.
How can we help you? You said you're in a pickle. How can we get you out of the pickle?
Yes, the pickle. Oh boy. Well, I'll start from the top. You see, just then, a loud howling fills the air. The cause quickly becomes apparent as a huge half-orc swaggers toward you, pushing his way through the crowd without a care for anybody standing in his way, as orcs do. In front of him walked to appear to be three large wolves wearing iron collars, while a hulking figure in a dirty brown cloak travels in his wake with footfalls loud enough to be heard over the ruckus. The half-orc sets his small eyes on you and strides forward with one hand resting on the hilt of a greatsword. That sheep is Master Noak's. He desires to have it back.
This sheep told me it's not a sheep. I don't think that this sheep belongs to anybody.
Karen takes out her clipboard and Guz, I'm going to have to issue a demerit. Your workplace behavior has been very inappropriate. And she walks up to him and with one extra D8 radiant damage, hits Guz with her clipboard, issuing him a demerit.
Forbegorf, you've just seen Karen whack this very imposing half-orc right upside the head with a clipboard. And I should say to Karen, when you did that, you expected it to, be a clipboard.
Yeah, she wasn't happy she had to resort to such harsh methods, but this person was being very unreasonable, and drastic measures were involved.
But when you kind of your adrenaline kicked in, you didn't really notice it, but as you kind of reflect, when you picked up your clipboard, it felt a lot heavier, and you could see just the faint outline of this enormous battle axe just slice through the orc. And when you made contact, you saw like a shimmering light that bounced off of its hide. It was pretty fucking rad.
Oh my!
And you guys, and the two of you also saw this, and are now like, "Oh shit, Karen!"
Well, Mr. Guz, I'm sorry I had to do something so drastic.
Oh, why would you hit me? I was leaving.
You were being very hostile to my employee.
Like most social media managers do, I'm gonna hurt him emotionally from a distance with my BlackBerry, and I'm gonna post that video of him getting whapped by an old lady all over the internet.
You sure are. I don't know why I feel embarrassed, but it feels like a video was just posted that I don't want my mom to see. I'm so mad.
But also, shit's gone viral. I'm gonna institute my viral marketing skill where I can deal 1d8 extra damage if an enemy is below its HP max.
Nice.
So I'm gonna hit this bitch twice, but in the emotions.
Yeah, you are.
And I'm gonna throw Karen a bardic or a risk mitigation. So Karen, you can add a D8 to any of your attacks or saves to like hit or make the save.
Give us that good flavor.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, hey Karen, I'm seeing how you're doing things, and I want you to know that if you just kind of like swing a little bit better, you'll do your job better. If you just do better.
Great.
Listen, Chaz isn't a good project manager. I want to make that clear. I'm going to yell out to, what's the sheep's name? What was the sheep? Finifear.
Finistar. Finithar Shinebright.
I'm going to say, Thinapair? Yeah, we're going to have to...
It's I'm incapacitated.
Yeah, you're
I'm dead.
incapacitated. You can't do that.
I can't hear you.
I'm going to issue it a change order. We're going to have to change the scope of this project we've got going on, Finiflop. So I'm going to throw a healing word at Finifear, and it is going to heal 6 HP.
Fantastic. So as you open up Microsoft Excel and you start shifting around your timeline, you see a wispy force coming from the exhaust fan from your laptop, and it surrounds the sheep, and he goes, and he kind of springs to life, and then Forbegorf, you hear, holy shit, what happened? Why do I feel hurt but a little more at ease about timelines?
It's better this way. The timelines have been changed. You can relax. Everything's fine.
Oh, I feel like I have so much time to accomplish my assignments now. All right, what's your landing blow? Walk me through it.
Yeah, so it's gotten like super viral, this whole hashtag grounds for suspension. So we are now going to call in some other friends. We're just gonna dox the crap out of this orc. Everybody's gonna come over and hand him just a note that says you're suspended, and it's gonna be so many people from the crowd telling him that he's suspended that he just can't handle the embarrassment anymore.
So Guz, even though like his arm is broken and his leg is hemorrhaging blood, behind his butt starts to vibrate as he pulls out his phone, because he has a phone because he's an orc. Yeah, fun. His fantasy phone starts to buzz. He goes, "No, my followers! I can't believe it!" And then he just melts in embarrassment. Congratulations, you have succeeded this weird battle.
We solved your orc puzzle.
You solved my very sad orc puzzle.
I'm gonna go pick up the sheep and like just hold it out towards Forbegorf and say, all right, where does this stupid sheep want us to go, Forbegorf?
Yeah, sheep. What the fuck, man? What the hell was that? What's going on?
Yeah, so okay. You got me. I'll tell you everything. Let me see here. So I told you I'm a very powerful wizard. I super am.
Check.
Until about 2 years ago, I worked out of a tower and you know what? I'm just going to tell you normally because this voice is killing me.
Great.
Okay. Until about 2 years ago, he owned and worked out of a tower on the outskirts of town. He was a wizard of no small talent, specializing in transmutation magic. His most prized possession, and what you can assume would be the key to his success, was an incredibly rare wand of true polymorph. One fateful night, he ended from his meditative trance to find his apprentice, Ahmed Noak, standing over him, clutching the wand. Shinebright demanded to know what the boy was doing, but the only noise he could produce was an angry "bah." And thusly, the wizard became a virtual prisoner in his own garden. He was forced to graze on nothing but grass and buttercups, while hungry wolves and other beasts actually polymorphed guards looked on. Spoiler, the wolves that you were fighting were not wolves, they were guards that were polymorphed.
That Karen chopped in half with a clipboard.
That Aaron indeed chopped in half.
Well, you got one of them adopted, so that's kind of wholesome.
Yeah. So last night, he felt hope for the first time in many months when Noak left his home without closing the door. Shinebright snuck in, made his way to an old bookshelf, and stole a scroll of Speak to Animals. I just realized that we didn't do that because you had Speak to Animals. So we'll just say he bolted out the door when the door was open.
Sure.
That's fair.
Yeah.
He then rushed into town, basically looking for the first person he could find, which was, for some reason, inexplicably you guys.
Huh.
So there you go. So finally he explains that in order to turn back to his original form, he needs another dose of the true polymorph spell, which means, of course, he needs access to the old wand. His former apprentice, i.e. Noak, still dwells in Shinebright's home, located just to the southeast of town. So a plot direction that a ways that is not too far away. He keeps the wand on him at all times and only leaves the house if he absolutely has to. Of course, Shinebright knows his old home's layout and can describe it and also lead you there. Plot, etc., etc.
Let's follow this sheep to the place we
Yeah.
go. Listen, we're gonna find this nerd Ahmed Noak, whatever it was. Yeah, we're gonna fight him. We're gonna beat him up. I'm now. It's 5:02. I'm working overtime now, and I'm not getting paid extra. I'm pissed.
All right.
Question for the sheep, because I can talk to the sheep. So if we find this flatbed Nokia guy for you, are you gonna be able to get us home? Because I have shit to do this weekend that isn't here.
Yeah.
That was less than convincing, sheep.
No, I can.
Okay.
Definitely.
According to the sheep, if we find the Nokia guy, he can get us home. So I say we go and find the Nokia guy.
Yeah, I'm meeting my bros for apps. Let's roll.
Yep, we out.
Cool, let's go, bro hammers. Yeah.
We don't understand what the sheep is
Bro,
saying, and I hope
Hammers is not in. That's people aren't saying that
I don't
anymore.
like
Sheep.
that.
I would not.
No, I'm pretty sure it is. I know what's hip.
It's
cool.
not. I have a lot of followers. It's not.
Tubular. Gnarly.
All right, we're walking.
Radical. You follow this path. It's no more than 20 or so minutes of following this very small sheep who's just kind of trotting along. And you see you're walking through a forested path. You see a little bit of a clearing, and in the distance is a giant kind of dome structure. There's a center, the center platform that looks to be about 60 feet in diameter, and there are two side platforms that jut out. One juts out above it, and one below it. The one below it has a little entryway, so you can perceive that it's a home. It's Shinebright's home. You walk into the kind of the rightmost cylinder, which is about 20 feet in diameter. That's where you enter, and then you go into the main chamber, which is the 60-foot one, which does not have an entrance from the outside. And then there's a very small pocket chamber that you can see that kind of juts out to the left. Yeah. Okay, so you walk up to the door. It is locked.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, so with my urchinous background, I'm going to pick the lock.
Pick that lock, baby. Give me a D.
I don't know how you do that.
Give me a D20 and then add your dexterity
modifier to it,
which is 3.
Oh boy. 15 plus 3 is 18.
You fiddle with the lock a couple times and you hear it click.
Hell yeah! Look at that shit I just did in real life. Shit is crazy. I tweet about that.
You tweeted about it.
I tweet that I picked a lock today.
That's that bastard Noak who stole my wand, my house, and turned me into this monstrosity. Go do the thing with the clicky box that you're doing and make him cry.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna sneak over there and I'm gonna peek around the corner.
Okay.
See what's
can
in
I
the
get
other room.
a sneak check or a stealth check? Sorry.
Stealth check.
You get advantage on it.
Yep. Ooh, baby, I don't need it. That's a natural 20.
Oh, dang. All right.
So with a natural 20, here's what happens. So you walk in and you see Ahmed Noak huddled over a bunch of scrolls. He's furiously writing. He's got just scrolls everywhere, and he's talking to himself. He's looking away from you. He's not doing anything, or not giving you any attention. He is fully 100% invested in what he's doing. You can see also a giant white staff that he's got kind of propped up against the table, like within arm's reach of him.
Just take the staff. I mean, that's metagame, but just take the staff.
Take a picture of him, post it on Instagram, and edit a fart in.
So the staff is within like arm's reach of him and not within arm's reach of me, right?
Arm's reach of him.
Okay. And how far away from him am I? I know you said the other side of the room, but like how far?
35, 40 feet.
Oh, damn. So it would take some serious doing to like Scooby-Doo my way in there and get the staff.
If you wanted to just like swipe it from him, I would need another very high stealth.
So I'm gonna throw into our company Slack what the situation is and what I've seen in the other room. So y'all can check that Slack channel.
I can't though, Matt, because you have my phone.
It's true. It's true.
Or Chaz can check the Slack channel.
I'll show her. I'll show Karen.
Yeah, and I'm gonna send a poll, and the poll is attack or take the staff.
Karen quite doesn't
I vote
understand
twice for us.
What Slack is and can't really read the options.
I'm gonna explain to Karen exactly what Slack is, and that her Nokia probably doesn't work with Slack, and that we are voting. We should vote. I'll go ahead and vote for you, Karen. I got this.
Okay.
And Forbergorf's he's gonna go be sneaky, and he's gonna steal the staff, and we're gonna take destiny into our own hands. Karen, aren't you ready for that? Aren't you tired of letting life push you around, Karen?
So with advantage, I roll twice. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So it's 14 plus 4 is 18, plus my stealth modifier is 23.
23.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
That's pretty damn high.
Well, Matt, with a 23, Forbagorf tiptoes quietly right behind Noak. He hears, damn it, I can't believe I did it. And then you see him turn around like suddenly, but stop. And he goes, no. and then you're like, oh! And then you slowly reach for the staff and quickly grab it before he sees it.
Yeah, I did it. I did the thing.
You slowly grab this staff, you yoink it out of sight, and then you hear the staff like start to hum like, and the guy turns around and it's like, what the? And he just, and then he immediately turns into a monster that's called a gibbering mouther, a hideous lump of seemingly random limbs, organs, and facial features.
Oh no!
And you're just,
oh man!
Roll for initiative.
Yeah, I'm gonna run in and start demanding answers, and mostly I guess, can we communicate with the monstrous teeth thing?
You can try.
Yeah, I'm gonna yell, Hey, I think you're the reason why we're here. I'd like to leave. I'm gonna miss apps and drinks with the bros.
Are you just yelling at that, or?
Yeah, why are you the way that you are, and how do we leave? All right, well, I tried. So I'm going.
Did you?
I had a good attempt. So I'm going to try under promise and over deliver, which is the spell enthrall. So it needs to make a wisdom saving throw, and that needs to be a 13.
He made it.
Well, then nothing happens, and I'm just standing in the room looking like an idiot.
Okay.
What else is new?
I tried to tell him that we are going to meet his deadlines, but to not get too ambitious with his deadlines, but we'll probably meet him. But then he stopped listening because he's
All right.
a pile of tentacles.
Yes, he is. Forbegorf.
So I am going to I'm gonna at the fuck out of this guy and cast my hunter's mark on this lump of things and use my last spell slot. So that gives me an extra d6 of damage whenever I hit with a weapon attack. So now that that is cast, I am going to take a picture of this lump and I am going to at a picture of Ahmed Snoke and this picture with the hashtag 10-year challenge 2009 to 2019.
Very good. Roll and attack for me.
17.
Yeah, that got it.
Cool.
So give me your D8 plus 3 and then your D6.
11 total.
He kind of like lurches back and you see like you've like taken out one of the heads, like a hydra, but it just kind of like a really melty hydra.
Mr. Noak, your behavior has been very inappropriate. Theft, extortion. She doesn't get that it's a mindless blob. So we are gonna. I have to put your department on a hiring freeze, and hits it. Channels divinity, hits it with her clipboard.
I don't know. I feel like using my ThinkPad, I'm going to queue up an email to my father, or my uncle who owns the company about how this gibbering tentacle monster is not welcome to the holiday party.
Roll an attack.
Yeah, that'll do. That's a 21 to hit.
Roll that damage.
It's
Chaz, actually cast the finishing blow.
So the email is so scathing. It actually was me talking about how the gibbering mouther had said some pretty unflattering things to some of the coworkers around, specifically Karen and Forbegorf. Usually you would think it would just be one end of that spectrum, but it was both the young millennial social media manager and the beloved HR coordinator. This gibbering mouther had somehow managed to verbally assault both of them with one unkind phrase.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it was pretty bad to catch both of those things.
As you click send, you see the color in the tentacle porn monster quickly starts to fade, and then the different features in its lumps start to shrink and kind of shrink into eventually evaporate into obscurity as the lump of mass slowly dissolves and turns into a black and white puddle of goo on the floor. Excuse me, Mr. Barf. Question.
I have questions. What's your question?
Well, I'm sure I have a lot of answers, but I will give you all the answers you need if you please first turn me back into my normal form. With that, staff, very much thank you.
I tried to turn that other guy into a newt, and it did not really go the way that I planned it going. How do I turn you into a human and not a jabbermouther?
Oh, yeah, no, that's easy. You're holding it the wrong way.
Oh, that's,
Yeah, just turn it around.
Great, yeah. Okay, cool. I turn it around, and I boop the sheep with the staff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy knows what he's doing. Give it up, my man. Oh, yeah. Oh,
I don't like that. I don't like that guttural noise that just came out of this.
Oh,
animal.
Hey, everybody. That was me. I'm the same person now.
Polymorphing's rarely pretty, Tom.
Now you've seen me kind of transform like Optimus Prime. There is some weird bones in some bad places, but everything's good now. I'm shine bright. I'm back to my normal form, and everyone's happy. Thank you guys. Thank you all so much for killing that piece of shit attendant of mine and giving me my house back.
Hey, Hey,
I guess
Shine-
like hang out.
Hey,
no, Shine
hey,
Bright. We have
Shinebright,
really two things
what-
we
can
need
I
to.
show Shinebright the email and be like, hey, what do you know about this? We got this email, and then we're transported here, and we helped you. Can you help us? Little
Yeah,
quid pro quo.
Yeah. Let me tell you what.
Thanks, Matt.
Hang right there. I'm gonna go grab my other staff, my transportation staff, and I'll be right back.
Wait, are you really gonna go get a transportation staff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just in my bedroom. It's just in that room. I'll be
I'm
right back.
passing out
Just hang
more
tight.
white. I ran out of White
make
Claws.
make a pot of tea. It's all good. Yeah.
I'm passing out Trulies now because I ran out of
crush
White
a couple
Claws.
claws. Oh yeah, unfortunately we
Trulies,
have no
the
Trulies here.
Trulies. No, I brought more. I have them.
Oh, okay. They're just not the same.
That's what I fill my messenger bag with.
I don't trust you now that you're not a sheep. I liked you better as a sheep. Can I check to see if you're lying?
You can do an insight check, yes.
Yes. Okay. What's
Karen's also gonna do an insight check.
I'm gonna do one with disadvantage because I'm drunk.
I got a 10 total.
I got a 7, so
Mine's lower than both those numbers.
He is totally going to be right back.
All right, you heard it. Trulies are flowing.
Yeah, so just, make yourself at home, make a pot of tea, give me like 3-4 minutes, I'll be right back. So when he left, you heard the door close and then
and
you
a
heard
car engine
click.
start.
and you see you see kind of like you hear like a fluttering sound and you see the shape like the silhouette of an owl kind of like flying by.
Oh dang.
Oh, man.
Oh dang.
Guys, I think he turned into an owl and flew away.
A hooded figure, appears from the woods. Do not be afraid. I know you from another world. It may not look like it right now, but the very fabric of this world is starting to fray. Strange artifacts have been popping up everywhere, and they all bring with them untold power. I believe our worlds are melding together, yours and ours, and I'm not sure how, but I also believe that in order to save this world, we'll need warriors from yours. And that's why I've called you here.
Hey, I just want to make it known that even though I am constantly late, my work ethic is typically
Karen
lacking.
kind of puts her hand
and then
over
a third thing
Chaz's
that I'm
mouth.
not caring about.
Sir, we're not warriors. We're office workers.
Forbergorf puts his hand on Karen's mouth and says, I have been called a keyboard warrior on more than one occasion, and I am
Karen
ready
swats
to...
it away. Karen swats away Forbergorf's hand.
Trust me, friends. I know plenty. You don't have to lie to me. I know plenty well the great stories of Forbergorf and the office drones. If you would just please follow me, I promise I will explain everything.
Wordlessly mouths Forbergorf and the office
Yeah,
drones.
I think the first time Karen and Chaz have like connected on anything, I'm like, the
So you're gonna follow him or not?
I mean, he said I was in charge, so I'm gonna follow him.
Karen follows, but she doesn't know where else to go in this crazy world.
yeah, Chaz does, but he like takes his time,
Like mopes and shuffles his feet, and like sighs a lot.
yeah.
Great. Okay, right this way, and he you follow him to this large like ship-looking thing. It's very otherworldly, kind of like an airship, but it's kind of incomprehensible. He's kind of looks like a monk almost, where like you can see his face, but you can only see kind of the outline of the bottom half of his face. A lot of it's covered by just like the shadow of his hood, of his robes. He looks at you and says, "You can call me the Exarch." Hey, did you note how the Exarch said the name of the thing? Huh? All right. So after the DLC episode released, we kind of figured that was it for old Forbergorf and the Office Drones. Fast forward a few months into 2020, and we were right on the precipice of the personal pan pizza. We had talked forever about launching a Patreon, and it's kind of like the conversation with the D&D podcast. Like, do we do it? Do we not do it? If we do it, we gotta, we wanted to do it the right way, or as much of the right way as we could do. So we kind of landed on doing a premium feed. We wanted to make sure we had bonus content. But where we landed is let's do a premium feed with content that is markedly different than the traditional DT format. So we decided, okay, well, maybe this is the opportunity to do a D&D podcast. We already had these characters, and we had this kind of weird corporate fantasy world. So that was it. That was the official birth of the Office Drones as a series, and the Office Drones, therefore, as the kind of flagship of our premium feed. So I got right to work on sketching out my loose story beats. But the first thing I thought would be fun was to do a kind of a prequel, because, until this point, all I really established is like 3 of you are in an office and you're in a meeting. So I wanted to give the guys a chance to develop their characters a little bit more in the like real life setting in their native format, I guess. So enter Marvis and Marvis Worldwide. So this next episode is a cut of what we called episode 0. This is the first episode on the premium feed, and it's called episode 0, One Fateful Thursday. This is setting up Marvis and Marvis Worldwide. Fun note, try to count how many times we fuck up the name and call it Mavis, because it happens a lot, and guess what? It keeps happening for months on. I think we still do this every once in a while, because Marvis and Marvis is a very stupid name. So here is episode 0. It's 9:30 a.m. on a bright and sunny Thursday morning. We're going to start with this month's new hire orientation. So we open with Karen leading this month's new hire orientation. Among the new employees are Dave in IT, Carol in accounting, and the newest hire to the marketing team, Freddie Borgerf, who goes by his Twitter handle, Forbergerf. We see Karen, who's diligently reading from the employee handbook, going over administrative things like vacation and holidays, sick time and PO, and corporate policies. Karen, why don't you give us a little bit, some choice highlights from the Marvis and Marvis employee handbook?
All right. So we left off yesterday. We were getting into our return policy, and I just want to make sure I go over that with you, because here at Marvis and Marvis, our return policy is very important to our corporate structure, and that is we do not accept returns at Marvis and Marvis. So Freddie, especially, this is for you, Freddie.
Yeah. What?
Freddie,
Huh?
please,
Sorry.
please pay attention.
It's Forbergorf.
What? Freddie. So Freddie, you're going to be managing our social media accounts. Is that correct?
Uh-huh.
Dave in IT raises his hand and he says, so what do we actually sell here? Because it doesn't sound like we do anything.
So we here at Marvis and Marvis, great question, by the way, Dave.
Thank you.
Marvis and Marvis is a lifestyle, a
lifestyle
branding company. So we don't like to think of us selling products so much as a lifestyle. So that's why it's very important here that you pay attention to this orientation process, because we're gonna give you the language to make sure you're staying on brand and that you are selling that Mavis and Mavis lifestyle we value so much here.
Every time you say lifestyle, you see Carol's eyes light up even more. Ooh, that's fun. That's fun.
Karen has a Mavis to Mavis hope.
I thought it was Marvis and Marvis.
Marvis.
Marvis and Marvis.
It's not Mavis Beacon teaches
God
typing.
damn it, Karen!
Meanwhile, Dave looks around and he's like, yeah, I'm out. Dave leaves, never to come back. So you guys are going to continue on. Karen goes through a couple more of the finer points. She explains there are 4 holidays here, 3 of which are Christmas. And then as you're going through this, you hear a little knock on the door, and you see a man in his mid-40s dressed very well in expensive clothing poke his head in. This is president of the company, Jason Marvis III.
Oh, new employees, please say hello to the president of our company.
Hello.
James Marvis III.
Hello, new recruits. Well, I'd like to formally welcome you to Marvis and Marvis Worldwide. I hope you're getting the lay of the land here from Karen, our top HR specialist. Oh, thank you, Karen. You'll find that we work pretty hard here, but don't let that scare you, because we also know how to have a good time. And yes, the beer in the kegerator is for everyone.
Just make sure to not overdo it. He checks his phone. Well, duty calls. Enjoy the rest of your first day here. You're in good hands. All right, gang, take it easy. Have a great first day. Oh, and Karen, when you're wrapped up here, we're gonna need you in conference room 12A for that thing. Great stuff. Good luck, gang. See you later. He's out.
He is just gone. He is no longer in the room.
All right, so we're going to move on to another player here, Chaz, who has just rolled in about 80 minutes late. Chaz has been late so much now that his team doesn't expect him to roll in until at least 10:15. But he also isn't missing happy hour. So like Todd said, he's a real 11 to 3 power hour kind of guy.
And to steal a phrase I've used before, my collar is generously unbuttoned.
Chaz says work smarter, not harder a lot, and then proceeds to do no work at all.
And then finger guns his way out of the room.
I throw a high five and bump my way out.
So Chaz strolls in with a mild to moderate hangover.
Yeah.
He's always rocking at least a mild hangover. Chaz's design partner Trisha is already waiting for him at his desk. So Chaz walks up. Trisha says, "Hey, buddy, you look rough. Long night."
You know it. And I throw a high five at her, but she doesn't answer it.
Yeah, okay. I don't really care. Look, I need you to route these campaign concepts through compliance. Mike in legal is already pissed at me about last week's display ads, so you might have to call in a favor or two. Just assure him these are no worse than that crappy magazine spread that Dan had us do back in February. Oh, speaking of Dan, he was looking for you. He said to pop in whenever you decided to show up.
I'm not paying attention as I'm like stirring my coffee. And I say, I gotta go talk to Dan. All right.
So Dan, otherwise known as the VP of Creative Services, aka your boss, is sitting in his office with the door closed.
Once I got my coffee and my disheveled, but like properly disheveled hair, I'm just gonna walk in. Just gonna walk into the office. Door shut. I'm
15
walking in.
minutes first, getting the perfect rolled out of bed hairstyle.
It's that early Jim Halpert hair.
Yeah, there it is.
Dan turns around, looks at you now that you're in his personal space. Oh, Chaz, glad you decided to stop by today.
Dano, and I shoot him a finger gun with my non-coffee hand.
Yeah. So care to tell me what kept you so long this time?
Oh, just working. Just working. It's never done.
Chaz, starting today, you're being put on a performance improvement plan. Now, I don't want to scare you here, but this is a pretty gosh darn big deal, okay? If we don't see any improvement from you in the next 90 days or so, then we're gonna have to take some action. Karen here will give you the specifics.
I take the sunglasses when he says performance improvement plan. I take the sunglasses that I've had on top of my head off and like fold them beside me and give him this look and say, Dan, I thought we were bros.
Well, look, it's not just my call here. Karen here thought it would be a good idea to put you on this plan, and I thought.
Thank you, Dan. I'll take it from here.
When Dan says it was Karen, I say under my breath, sucks.
Karen hears you and tries to ignore it, but is clearly bothered by it. Thank you, Dan. I'll take it from here. So, Chaz, we've really been noticing a problem with your attendance, specifically tardiness. So, first thing we're looking for in these 90 days is to have you show up here on time. Work starts at 9:00 every day.
In the morning?
In the morning.
It's 9 o'clock, bud. It's 9 o'clock. You gotta get in here.
So you know how everyone's already always here, set up, ready to go when you get here at 10:30, 11 o'clock? That's because they got here on time. And we're gonna need you to do that too. So the first thing.
Well, in my defense, I spend at least 10 minutes circling for parking because everyone's already here and parked by the time I get here.
We're not here to talk about how we're gonna fix it yet. We're just looking at what we're trying to improve in these 90 days. So the second thing we want you to improve on is completing tasks. So when you do complete a task, we want you to go into our task managing program and mark those done, please. That's how we know you.
Every one of them?
Every single one. And
But
we do need a 100 to 200 word report on what you did to get it done as well.
Oh,
Who
that's
worked
so
on
many
what.
words.
It's a number of words. Yeah, it's so this is your formal warning that we've talked to you about it, Chaz, and if I could just get your signature here.
Karen, is that a new perfume I'm smelling? I noticed something as you walked in the room. I think, is that delightful aroma you?
You know what, Chaz? Why don't you? Well, I'll go ahead and sign that for you. That's fine, Karen. Thank you, Karen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Karen kind of leaves, but has a lingering look on Chaz, and leaves.
Yeah, I'll just sign that bad boy for you. So Chaz, now we have all this unpleasantness behind us. I'm gonna need you to head over to marketing. It sounds like they're starting a new social media campaign. And
I'm already standing up and walking out of the room.
All right, see ya. All right, big guy. See you later.
Hey Dan, can you throw that coffee away? Thanks.
Okay, so we transition back to Forbergerf, who has now found his new team. He's found his desk and he's met up with Melissa, the director of marketing. She introduces herself and walks him to his workstation. Hi, Freddie. It's so great to finally meet you. I hope it's okay, but I gave your Twitter handle to a couple of the other team members. We all thought your Twitter thread live tweeting The Bachelor the other night was so funny.
Thanks. I do a lot of live tweeting. I live tweet pretty much everything. Anytime something comes on, I try and live tweet it. If it's sports, I live tweet it. If it's politics, I live tweet it. If it's The Bachelor or Survivor or any other reality show, I try and live tweet it. What's your Twitter handle? I'd love to follow you. Do you have Twitter? Do you have Instagram? Do you have Facebook? I'd love to follow you and be friends on all the things. Social media. It's the best.
I have... Oh, yeah. Well, I have LinkedIn. Have you heard of LinkedIn?
Yeah. So what did you want to talk to me about?
So, I know you haven't done a lot of tweeting on behalf of anyone but yourself, but, tweeting for a company is essentially the same thing, right? So what we want you to do is have you create a social media plan for Marvis and Marvis. Basically, all you need to do is take our Twitter handle, work with the design team to build new art assets, find a new logo, create a new, background, create an online identity, get at least 200 followers, and then just pre-build enough content for us to tweet about 2 to 5 times a day.
Yeah. I have some credit built up on Fiverr. I think I can get a lot of that stuff knocked out.
Perfect. Well, just to be clear, we don't have a budget like right now, so you're gonna want to do that in-house. We don't really have any money to bring in vendors.
Speaking of budget, I actually had a question, and Karen ran away before I could talk to her. She's got another question that I'm waiting for a response on too. But I don't really have a budget per se either. We don't have a budget. I don't have a budget. And so I was just curious, can I park my van in the company lot? Is that okay? Is it okay if I put my van in the company lot?
You mean the parking lot?
Sure.
For employees?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
And it's okay if it just stays there most of the time.
You mean like during the work hours?
Well, yeah, and then sometimes after the work hours and overnight sometimes,
Oh, well, you don't have to worry about working late. I mean, we're pretty. I mean, we work hard, but we play hard. Did you hear that in the orientation?
Yeah,
they're supposed to tell you that.
A lot of people told me that. And Chaz told me he leaves his car here all the time overnight. So I figured it was cool, but I just, I'm not worried about working late or anything. I just want to live in the parking lot. Is it cool if I live in the parking lot? Is that okay?
To make it clear, I think Chaz parked on the sidewalk this morning, and that's where the confusion came from.
Well, actually, I've been parked at the Walmart on 5th for the last couple of nights, but I was wondering if I could move over here. I walked here today.
Yeah. Tell you what. You know what? Freddie. As long as you get the work done, whatever you do on your own time is your time.
Sounds great. And actually, you don't really need to call me Freddie. My dad is Freddie. I'm Forbergorf. You can call me Forbergorf. Forbergorf.
Forbergorf?
Forbergorf.
What?
Forborgu. U with the umlaut, like you hold down the U and you get the two dots.
Why are you golfing?
Forbergorf.
What's
There's
the
no
golf?
There's not an L. I spelled it for you. Where did you find an L? Melissa,
what is
your name has L's. My name doesn't have L's.
What are you counting? Is it for what?
It's Forbergorf. It's my name. My name is Forbergorf.
I thought your name was Freddie.
No. Freddie is my dad's name and what I have to write on legal papers. My name is Forbergorf until I have enough money to change it legally.
Melissa's phone starts to ring. She goes, okay, well, anyway, here's a copy of our brand guidelines. I have to run to a meeting. She hands you this massive 3-ring binder with like loose leaf pages just kind of falling out. Great. Yep, I have to run to a meeting, so I've asked Creative Services to swing by. Oh, there he is now. Chaz, come over here.
Okay, bye.
Chaz walks in at his own pace.
She walks toward Chaz. Chaz, starting today, you're going to be part of the social media team. So it's your job to work with him to make sure that Marvis and Marvis Worldwide is trending. Sound good?
Chaz is on Tinder.
Great.
He's just swiping. He's like, yeah, all right. What's your name? Doesn't matter. Okay, sit down. So I have to do a thing or my dad's going to take my job away. So I need you to listen.
Wait. Your dad?
Yeah.
Are you the second Marvis? I've been trying to figure out all damn day who the other Marvis is.
That's
Chaz Marvis?
Some say that the third Marvis still haunts these halls. No, we don't talk about that, and I don't have your answer. Also, it's a dumb question. All right, so if you have to manage our online content, then you need to use probably, I don't know. I think we're using Wix, something like that nowadays. I don't remember. That's what sponsors this podcast. Okay, download the Wix app because you can do it from your mobile. You got it?
Yep, got it. Okay,
all right,
I got the app. So I have the app. It's on my phone. Yeah. What do I do now?
But yeah, if you just like go in through there, you can like manage your content. You can like schedule updates. You can blast emails to all the people that have signed up. I've done that a couple of times with some referral codes for these shoes that I got. Man. Anyway, it's probably a good idea that I'm not doing this anymore, but like, you know, you can access it from all your devices. Like it links to all your, and if you forget the password, it's boobs with a Z. Like, just don't forget that part, because that's man, you lose the password. That's a shame. But yeah, you just put stuff out. I mean, I don't know if you realize this, but anything you put on there goes to anyone.
Well, yeah,
you can put anything on there.
That's pretty much how social. Wait, how old are you?
I'm 25.
I don't know that I believe you. I'm 25, and none of my friends have popped a collar or seen a collar popped since middle school.
Yeah, but I'm 25 with no real idea of how the world works around me because I'm a child of nepotism.
Chaz is very self-aware.
No, it's Chaz is the kind of guy that drives a Ferrari because he thinks that like a Ferrari will make him cool, because his idea of cool is just not good.
He wears the Ferrari jacket when he's not in his Ferrari, so everyone knows that he has a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Forbergorf opens the notes app on one of his phones and writes, Chaz, at least 36.
We go back to Karen, who is now back at her desk. She starts opening her email application, and at the bottom of the unread queue, we see an unread email with the subject line in all caps, "It's hump day!" ! And the body of the email is just a low-res JPEG of a cartoon camel.
A shiver went down Todd's spine.
Yeah, I feel that one.
It's from Jody Miller, director of HR.
I'm the director of HR. Hold on.
Oh, VP of HR.
Okay,
then.
thank you.
And Karen's boss.
Karen has a hearty chuckle at the hump day gif she has been sent.
A laugh longer than anyone should.
Yeah.
Suzanne, who sits next to Karen, also laughs at the email.
Yes. Suzanne is Karen's best friend. Karen is not Suzanne's best friend.
So Suzanne walks to get some more water to fill up her little flask thing that everyone has on their desks now. So right now, the workspace is empty. Karen looks around to check if anyone's watching. She then opens up her personal email to see if she got any response on her job application to Marvis and Marvis Worldwide's main competitor. No response. She then looks down and remembers that she left a copy of her resume right there on her desk. What's Karen gonna do?
Ooh, Karen.
Karen very quickly shuffles her resume away to a drawer where she hides her things. Her Heidi drawer, as she calls it. She's very proud of the name Heidi drawer and tells everyone about her Heidi drawer.
It's a drawer that says Heidi, Heidi.
So just then we see an urgent email come in from President Marvis. And it's just, there's no body. It just has a subject line all in lowercase. Hey, can you, with the letter U, pop by my office? Just period, no exclamation or no question mark. THX. Hey, can you pop by my office? Thanks.
Karen very, she replies, sure, comma, on my way now. Best regards, Karen.
So Karen walks toward Marvis's office. The door is ajar, so she kind of slinks in. I'll set the scene and then we'll get into it. So the office is much larger than the rest of the rooms in the building. It's the only room in the building decorated in dark wood paneling. Right in the middle of the room sits a very expensive-looking oak table next to a almost brand new leather couch. You see on the walls there's a couple bookshelves, a series of expensive-looking abstract art pieces that somebody probably ordered from Bed Bath & Beyond. And then they're kind of all surrounding this large framed photo, this really nice wooden frame. The photo has two 80s looking guys cutting a red ribbon in front of a big office building with the banner Marvis Brothers Imports. And one of the men there is holding hands with a small boy. So Marvis looks at Karen and says, hello, Karen. Please sit down.
Thanks, sir. Just admiring that great picture of you and your brother. What makes you call me to your office today?
Well, Karen, actually, as you know, I'm the little boy. That's my father and my uncle.
Of course, that's what I meant. Thank you.
No, it's okay. Karen, thank you for bringing it up because I've been thinking about this a lot lately. When my father and my uncle started this company from virtually nothing, they built it with the ideal that each and every one of us, from the mailroom to the C-suite, is part of a team.
Absolutely, sir. That's what I tell everyone that comes through HR, that we're all a team.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. And my dad, my uncle, they carried out that ideal each and every day, all the way until Dad's death. And I'd like to think that I've carried on his memory through a recession and through another second and much more dramatic recession. This is a different pocket dimension. My dad used to tell me, son, a team that trusts is a team that triumphs.
Bravo, sir.
A single tear comes from Karen's eyes.
Karen, you're a team player, aren't you?
Absolutely. Have I given you any reason to question my team loyalty, sir? I certainly hope not. I don't. That's not what I want.
Karen, please. It's okay. Do you know why I called you in today?
I do not, sir. This was a surprise.
Well, we have a problem.
Oh no.
This guy over in project management, Chaz, I think.
Yes, Chaz Harmon, son of one of the members of the board, right? Yeah.
Yes, Hammond Harmon, Dr. Hammond Harmon,
yes,
Esquire.
Hammond Harmon, yes.
Now that Chaz Harmon, he's not a team player. He's constantly late. His work ethic is lacking, and his last 3 performance reviews are all less than stellar.
Yes, we've been working on the Chaz Harmon problem for a while now, sir. I just spoke with him this morning, actually.
Okay. Now, what did you say to him? What was the plan of action?
Well, me me and his boss, his project manager, gave him 90 days to turn his act around. So we told him he's got to show up to work on time and complete his tasks every day for the next 90 days, and we will reevaluate at the end of that time period.
Yeah, I just I don't know, Karen. I don't think that's enough.
Okay.
You know, as you know, since his father is on the board, I fear this is how he's gone on for this long. But you know, I don't have to tell you, we've received more than enough complaints from him and most of our employees, who even those that just have a tangential relationship to him.
Yeah, I'm aware of Chaz's record. We've got a big file on him over in HR. It's kind of a joke we throw around every once in a while.
Yeah. Well, Karen, like I said, you know, a team that trusts is a team that triumphs. And
Absolutely.
I really want us to live that value today. So I'm gonna pitch something to you. Now, it's not the perfect solution, but it's a solution. The board is pressuring me to make budget cuts, and as much as I want to avoid having to remove people from our family here, I have to. So I've decided on minimal impact. I'm going to cut the social media team, which is right now just that one millennial kid you had in orientation today.
Freddie, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So I've also I asked Melissa to transfer Chaz to her team effective immediately. So what I want you to do is inform the two of them that the social media team is being cut moving forward immediately.
I just want to be clear, sir. You want me to let you want me to tell Freddie and Chaz that they're being let go today?
I do. They will be provided a severance package for every year they worked, but they'll need to remove their things from the building by the end of the day.
That's such a shitty severance package for Freddie. Freddie, here is $23.
So, Karen, can you do that for me?
I guess so, sir. It's not my favorite part of being in HR, but it is a necessary part that we all gotta do our role.
Great.
And Karen just kind of hurriedly gets up, like she doesn't want to talk
Great.
about firing people anymore.
All right, and as Karen walks out, you hear him say, "I'll have my assistant set up a meeting, so just hang tight until you see it, and please, Karen, keep this between us."
Of course, sir. And she shuts his door, I guess.
Okay, so I know it's pretty wild that we are more than an hour in, and I'm just now introducing you to episode 1, but just play with me in this space. Okay, so at this point, we've set up the corporate world of Marvis and Marvis worldwide, and we've introduced some characters that might show up again? Chekhov's marketing manager? We'll see. Episode 1 now was the real, actual, legitimate start to this corporate D&D venture. We, like I said before, like you heard before, we got that little retcon snippet at the end of the Wild Sheep one-off. Our heroes were approached by this mysterious man calling himself the Exarch, who claimed to know how to get them home. We'll see if he actually does. So episode 1's going to introduce us more to the Exarch and his team aboard their very Final Fantasy-ass airship. Along the way, they get attacked, surprise, because they are heroes riding in a vehicle in a fantasy world. Episode 2 concludes the conflict that was set up in 1, so I'm actually going to let these two just play together, so you won't hear from me again until after episode 2. I do want to share, one of the hardest things I think about being a DM is towing the line between giving your players a well-crafted narrative without railroading them so much through this Disneyland-esque theme park ride, right? It's tough. Case in point, episode 2, I had written out all of the dirty details to this world before we recorded, but I wrote it in such a way that I wanted them to see what was happening. I wanted them to generate the questions, and I wanted them to just get thrown in, which is really easy to do in a video game or a book or a movie. But it's really hard to do in D&D because at any point your players can just say wait, what's going on? And so that's what I didn't account for. I didn't account for that the players would just be smarter and like not blindly accept what was going on, rightfully so, and continuously ask the NPCs like, hey, what the fuck is happening? So you'll notice there are a few points here in episode 2 where I'm really just trying to shrug them off unsuccessfully because they kept hitting me with good rolls. But I think it worked out. It's definitely like, this is a great example of the more that you DM, the more you learn. And that's the trick. Anybody out there who hasn't DM'd, is thinking about it, just know, like, you can spend hours and hours and hours building this like perfect campaign and this like amazing narrative. Your players will always, 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 always find a way around it. They'll always figure out how to break the thing that you've built. And that's, I think, like the one cardinal rule to DMing. So, you learn to accept it, and you just get real good at ad-libbing. Anyway, so enjoy episodes 1 and 2. We open, camera on, camera roll. We open with the Exarch leading a team through the path in the woods to an open clearing. Sitting in the clearing is what looks like a large pirate ship, but instead of sails, it has a series of horizontal propellers. The Exarch looks at you all and says, "Please follow me onto the ship. I'll take you to someplace safe where we can talk. I promise you'll get all the answers you need then."
Karen follows him onto the ship because she's never seen a ship quite as cool as this one and wants to be on it.
Forbergorf turns around to take a selfie with the ship and then proceeds to go onto that ship.
Chaz pops his collar and tries to bump Forbergorf while he's taking the selfie.
As the two of you approach the ship and Forbergorf is taking a selfie, you can tell that the ship itself is not sitting in the clearing, but actually hovering slightly above the ground. It's looks like a giant wooden ark almost. A large wooden plank then lowers down from the hull of the ship, connecting straight down to the grass. Standing right outside the entrance, you see the figure. It looks like a man, but with like a lizard's body. And he's just kind of like leaning against the entrance to the ship.
I turn around to take a selfie with the lizard man.
the lizard looks at you and just shoves you. Then he looks at the Exarch and says, "Boss, we've been here too long. It's only a matter of time until they find us."
Karen extends her hand and like tries to introduce herself in a very like professional, like, "Hi, I'm Karen. What's your name?"
He looks at you and he looks back at the Exarch and he says, "Please tell me these stringy humans are not them."
Karen retracts her hand and is like, "Stringy," and just kind of walks up the plank and goes in, I guess.
Chaz tries to puff out his chest. He's been doing 20 push-ups every morning, and he is not stringy.
He has a copy of P90X.
He hasn't used it, but he's got the copy.
The Exarch kind of intercedes and he says, "Limit, my friend, please do not worry. As underwhelming as some of these folks may appear, I promise you they are champions, and you will show them the same respect that you show me."
I think Chaz is instantly pumped by being referred to as a champion. That was actually the name of his high school rock band, the Champions.
Very nice.
They all
Very
played
nice.
guitar, all of them.
They all played guitar.
Karen's up on the deck now, not hearing any of this, looking around the deck of this ship. She's gone all the way up.
I have walked away from the ship and am now trying to take a selfie where it looks like I am holding the ship up. I can't get the angle right though.
All right, as you walk up to the main deck, you can see two adolescent elves, and you know them to be elves. I assume like your characters have seen Lord of the Rings, like you
Sure.
probably can understand like basic fantasy mumbo jumbo.
Sure.
You can see two adolescent elves, both dressed in opulent robes, standing against the edge of the deck. One is male and the other female, and they look pretty much identical.
Guys, those are elves. I remember seeing them in Lord of the Rings 3.
God damn it! All right, thanks for setting that up.
Is that the one with Orlando Bloom?
Yeah, that I didn't see the first two, so I don't know if there are elves in the other, but I saw the third one because of all the fighting, and they were elves.
He's so handsome.
you're having this aside, you can hear the two elves are arguing with each other, and you can kind of you can hear a little bit of this conversation. You see the male elf yelling at what you imagine to be his sister. You can't just expect to pull a move like that and come out unscathed. You aren't a goddamn warrior, Allie. Alfie, little brother, you worry too much. You need to trust me. I'm your elder. By 7 minutes, and you know I hate when you call me that. The exarch comes up and he tells you these are the twins, Alessandra and Alphinius Failthun, the youngest ever to graduate top of their class from the magical academy in the northern continent of Dravania.
Karen walks right up to him and sticks her hand out to shake their hand and introduces herself. Hi, I'm Karen. I work in HR at Marvis and Marvis Worldwide. What's the deal with this ship? This is a cool ship, isn't it? This is so cool.
The female elf just comes over and she's like, "Hey, you can call me Allie." And as she opens her, she kind of opens her arm to you and blows snot in her arm, and then like extends her hand. You guys are weird.
Yeah, we could say the same thing. This is fun. Nice to meet you.
The male elf then kind of comes and intercedes, and he says, "Allow me to apologize for my sister's lack of etiquette. Alphinus, wait, what did I say?
Alphinius.
It's Alphinus. It's just hard to say. Alphinus Orvilia Failthun III of the House of Zamail, at your service."
That's a really hard name to say. Do you have a shorter name? Your name's just kind of complicated.
When Forbergorf says that, Chaz just stares slowly at him.
So does Karen.
The female elf just kind of laughs. She says, "You can call him Alfie. He forgets that most folks don't live all their days in stuffy castles kissing rings."
Oh, like Alfalfa. Can I call you Alfalfa? Are you cool with Alfalfa?
She laughs, and he looks very perturbed.
Great, Alfalfa it is.
The exarch says, young Alphinus here was the Academy's finest medic, and Allie's evocation magic is quite the sight to behold.
Karen makes a note of evocation and looks very confused, but all right, a doctor and a magician. Nice to meet you two, and kind of goes back to the edge of the boat to figure out what's going on.
As you go up, you see a smaller figure kind of standing by the front of the ship, by the big old captain's wheel, and he says, "Oi, sir, we best be getting our arses out." I'm gonna not do. Okay, I wrote this to be. I cannot do a Scottish accent. I can write a Scottish accent, but I can't do.
You just have to say "oi."
Yeah.
Before
Oi.
Everything. And
Oi.
say call everyone governor.
This sounds like Villager
that's
Jim
nothing.
from the Witcher episode. Sounds
Yeah, it
exactly like
is.
Villager Jim.
Oi, Witcher!
Yeah, there you go. That's all the accent you need.
I'm not good at accents. If anyone, that's like
But he loves doing them.
That's in the debate this meta. All right, so I am not going to do this accent, but just assume that I'm doing this in a perfect Scottish accent.
Wait, pause. Special request. Can you read it straight without accent? However, read the words that you wrote in
Yes.
the Scottish accent.
I will do that.
Perfect. Thank
Oi,
you.
sir, we best be getting our arses out of here. Shriekers will be closing in fast. Who the L are you lot?
This content is being brought to you by consummate professionals here at Debate This.
So I'm gonna say this in a human way. Sir, we've got to get out of here. The Shriekers are closing in fast. Who the hell are you?
Who the hell are we? What the hell's a shrieker? That sounds not ideal.
You hear a loud roar from the engine room as the ship begins to rise above the clearing. Now it's taking off. Kyle, is there anything you want to do?
Karen is immediately seasick and amazed.
So for the other two, not Karen, you can see as you pass the tree line, you can then start to make out the tops of the trees, and then that cabin that feels like years ago, but was only 10 minutes ago. Of Finithir Shinebright quickly diminish as the ground below starts to lose detail. You are now in the air, and you are heading at full speed.
Chaz thinks this is metal as hell.
I would like to look around for a fasten seatbelt sign.
You do not see any. Also, you notice that there are no seatbelts at all.
Okay. I am slightly more concerned.
How's Karen holding up?
Come back to Karen. She's here, but
Okay.
she's very seasick. Does anyone have any Dramamine?
Chaz reaches into his messenger bag and pulls out 3 miniature bottles of Bailey's.
Karen swipes one and downs it real quick. She needs something.
It's not going to make it better. It'll definitely make it different.
Kyle, can I get a con save, please? Constitution saving throw.
You sure can. 16.
Awesome.
Pretty good.
That's really good, actually. So that somehow despite the fact that you just ingested warm alcohol and heavy cream,
Yeah, it's not good.
that combination somehow settles your stomach. I guess the cream was what you needed to kind of cut the acid that had been bubbling up. Because I'm pretty sure your entire diet has been like 4 Skittles this whole day. Am I right?
You're not too wrong, but
If I remember correctly.
the small amount of booze kind of helps. Everything's wavy now, so she's kind of
Yeah.
like, all right,
Your
we're here.
equilibrium's you're back on track. Your
Yeah.
equilibrium's back on
Yeah.
track. Just as Karen starts to get her sea legs, a blood curdling shriek can be heard from the trees below, kind of like a followed by a constant whooshing. It almost sounds like think about like when you hear like 1,000 bats kind of fly from a cave. It's just like. How about that Foley work, huh?
I'm transported.
my sound effects are 3 times as better than my
Your accents.
accents.
Chaz wants to go investigate this.
So Chaz walks up, starts to head back toward the deck, and Chaz slams right into Lamit, the lizard man. Get out of my way!
Chaz purposely tries to do the thing where like you step at the same time in the same way as they do to go past each other.
He's like trying to like get past you, and he just kind of like peeks over your shoulder when looking at the Exarch. He says, "Sir, they found us. What are your orders?" Because he's a lizard.
Lizard boy.
Yep. Exarch says, "Damn it! Wedge, full speed ahead, double time. Let's try to outmaneuver them."
Hi, hello, question from the back again. Yes, me with the
Yes.
question.
Yes.
Who is they? Who are we running from? What was that? What's going on? Can you answer some questions for me? I have questions.
Can we see the shrieker?
You can't hear anything, or you can only hear. You can
Okay.
only hear that.
Okay.
But it is like a it's getting louder. That's what
Okay.
that was. I'm sure you can edit that to make it sound real good.
I can,
I think
but
it was
won't.
fine as is.
No.
To answer, the Exarch looks over at Forbegorf and says, "My friend, I'm very sorry. I understand this. Look, this sounds confusing. All you need to know is we need to get the hell out of here." And then he turns back to Lamit standing right behind Chaz, still kind of hanging over his shoulder. He says, "Lamit, divert all power to the ship's engines." And then he yells for Ali, Alphanus, try to blow those bastards out of the sky. He then looks at you all, specifically Forbegorf, and says, "Can I count on you for some help should it arise?"
I mean, yeah, but like, I would really like to know what's going on here. I get answers and you get help. How's that sound?
Fair enough. So as the 3 of you head toward the bridge, all 3 of you can see what looks like, you guys have seen bats before, probably a lot. They look like bats, except, oh no, they're very much not bats. They are 6 kind of humanoid figures with bat wings. They preach from the tree line, and that screeching sound is getting louder and louder. And they appear to be very far away at first, but they're also clearly gaining ground rather quickly. And as they start to get closer, you can close in on some of those details. So you can see the bat-like wings, but those wings are looking more and more ragged as they get up close. And then upon further glance, as far away, you could see that it was like they looked like just like humans, like head, arms, feet. And as they come closer, those human features are less and less recognizable.
The creatures are moving at like an erratic pace, kind of like bats would kind of flit about, but very, very uncomfortably erratic. You can see where there should be eyes, there's just these jet black orbs, and they're moving almost independently from their heads. Their cheekbones are completely gone, and their mouths are just kind of agape. Their chests are completely sunken in, showing what would have otherwise been a rib cage, but just nothing there. And their hands, their arms, their feet, their legs are replaced with bird-like claws and talons.
Karen very dramatically points at them and shrieks.
It's like the Ned Flanders shriek off of The Simpsons. Chaz very like matter-of-factly, while he reaches for his Lenovo ThinkPad, yells, what'd you say, there were 6 of them?
6 of them, yes.
6 weird as shit bat things off the stern, let's go!
The shriekers come up close. They're coming in, closing in fast, and they're going straight for Allie. So what you can see, if you look over at Allie, at this point, Alphinus has thrown the binoculars, and Allie is starting to prep like a magic spell. You, as Matt, Kyle, and Todd, know this to be a magic spell, but you, as Chaz, Forbegorf, and Karen, think that she just looks like she's like at a rave, basically. She looks at you and she says, "Hold them off! I'm gonna blow these motherfuckers out of the sky."
If shit's about to pop off, then Chaz knows what he wants to do. Chaz wants to call for a burn rate meeting because we need to talk about the things that are falling apart here, which actually means he's gonna cast fairy fire.
Nice. Well, first we're gonna roll initiative, but that's cool. You get that move in the chamber. That's fine.
Yeah.
Are Karen and Forbegorf equally as gung-ho as Chaz is about?
Karen is still screaming.
Yeah, that's true.
I was gonna say, like, I don't know if you want to do like a disadvantage on the initiative or how you want to play it, but Karen is terrified. She is like in over her head.
Okay, so you see this mob of shriekers head straight toward Allie. So 3 of them are gonna head for Allie, and then the other 3 are gonna head for who's standing in front of the stern? Is it Karen at this point, or did somebody flip around?
It should be me, I think.
Yeah, I think Karen.
Or Chaz might be in front of me because he was talking to.
As much as I want to say it was Karen, I think Chaz thinks a lot of himself, and I think it was Chaz.
All right, so I'm gonna.
Am I close to Chaz and Allie? Who am I closer to?
Let's say so. Chaz is gonna get. They're gonna go. We're say 2 are gonna head for Chaz. 1's gonna head for you. You're kind of standing, like I imagine, like directly behind, or kind of like to the right of, and a little bit behind of Chaz. And then Allie's to the left of Chaz, kind of like in the corner of the stern. And then Forbegorf's in the back. I'm fucking taking selfies or doing something weird.
So everyone within 5 feet of me, they get disadvantage when attacked.
Got it. So anything attacking Chaz, we'll call that disadvantage.
Okay.
Yeah, you get to impose that one time.
Chaz, what's your AC?
A lot. It's 15.
Okay, so you got out of those 2, you got hit once. So
right.
You're gonna take. So what happens is 2 of the shriekers just kind of swarm you. Now these guys, while they look fucking terrifying, but they also look. Actually, can I get a little perception? Just
I got
for funsies, a little flavor perception.
It rhymes with a it's a 1. So
it rhymes with fun.
Yeah.
These things may as well be bats.
Yeah, they're bats. They're Batmen.
18.
Thanks for your honesty. From Karen, yeah. So Karen can tell. And again, Karen's worldly. Like she's seen movies, she's seen fiction. These things look like zombies. Like they are gaunt as all hell. They do not look healthy. They also don't look like they almost look feral. So, very much like you would imagine being attacked by bats. Like there's no rhyme or reason to this. It's just chaos.
Okay.
All right. So what's going to happen is those 2 shriekers swarm Chaz. And fortunately, Karen was able to kind of, what is that, your shield protection?
Yeah. So that'd be my employee handbook.
Your employee handbook. So we'll make this as fun. So Karen knows that her employee handbook has some magical properties, but she obviously doesn't understand it yet. So I like to think that Karen is probably, she's still terrified, and she similar to how somebody would react by being attacked by bats, she just kind of crunches up and holds her book in front of her face. So the book kind of reflects emits some powerful light and blinds one of the and just kind of like a photo going off, just quickly blinds one of the shriekers, and it just rah! And the other one is able to ignore it and slashes Chaz with its tail for 6 damage.
That sucks. I think that's what Chaz actually says too.
Yeah,
he's like, this sucks a lot.
So Karen, emboldened by the flash of light from her employee handbook and the Bailey's kicking in, gets pulls her clipboard out of her messenger bag and swings at the closest screecher and clips him in the face with it for 1d8 slash, so 5.
Awesome. All right, so she takes her thing, she kind of uppercuts it with her clipboard. And do you remember? And it's been a while, but remember back in that original campaign when Karen first did this, the kind of visage of a battle axe came through.
Yes,
and it was very quick. It was very faint, but it was very that much there. This same thing happened, and Karen almost forgot about it, but was oh yeah, and I would like to think Karen's a little more empowered and probably isn't as terrified anymore.
Oh yeah, every weakness these things show, Karen's a little more all right, we can do this.
Yeah,
and I can't understate or overstate the Baileys enough too.
Yeah, that's good. Chaz, you just got scratched by a bat man, bat.
It's a man bat.
It's a man bat. But your new savior, Karen, is looking really empowered, and you just saw a giant axe made of light emanate from an employee handbook, which is pretty dope. What do you want to do?
Chaz is pumped that he gave her the Baileys to empower her in this moment. So Chaz is going to do, I guess, 2 things. One, he's going to call for that burn rate meeting. So effectively, he's assessing the situation, seeing we are normally be hemorrhaging money, but it seems like we are hemorrhaging resources, which is blood. We are literally bleeding. So he is going to cast Fairy Fire on, I think you said there's 3 attacking Allie.
There's 3 attacking Allie, yeah.
So he's going to cast Fairy Fire. As long as they are in a 20-foot cube, he's going to try and hit just those 3. So for the duration, which can be a minute effectively, all attacks against those 2 that failed have advantage. So he's then going to yell back to Forbergorf and say, "Murder the ones covered in sparkling magic," because I guess that's what we're doing today. And he's also going to offer him some risk mitigation, which is a bardic inspiration. So Forbergorf, you can add 1d8 to any d20 roll that you make.
Cool.
Forbes, after witnessing the woman who was going to fire you uppercut a demon with a light axe, how are you feeling?
Oh boy. I was very hesitant to come up here because I'm still not totally sold on this whole Exarch situation. But I'm now completely in it because there are attacking man bats. And I have realized that this situation is bigger than my own thoughts.
All right, so at this point you see, so this is Allie's turn. So like I said, there are 3 that are kind of swarming her. So she's going to take a big step back, and you see this massive ball of fire, and it's not really a ball, it's more just like a stream of fire emanating from her fingertips. And she says something really cool that I can't think of right now. And just in an instant, all 3 of those things, you see them just burn to a crisp, disintegrate. They look like the char on a grill after it's been cleaned. Nothing.
Just ash floats away in the air.
She's good at this.
She's real good at this.
Yeah, she fucking rules.
I definitely mutter a holy shit from the backfield.
Yeah.
Karen yells language back to him.
So I'm gonna hit the one attacking Karen with my Lenovo ThinkPad. I'm gonna really think about how it could be doing its job better. And so I'm going to attack it. That's a 21 before I roll bless, so I'm assuming that hits.
Yes, it hits.
Yeah. That's max damage. I did 11 damage to it.
Ooh, it did not like that. You can see, so interestingly enough, you saw this a little bit when Karen sliced through the first one, but your Lenovo ThinkPad, what do you actually do with your Lenovo ThinkPad? Like, how do you attack with it?
In my mind, Chaz is like rearranging the order of what a project is or adding critique to projects on his Lenovo ThinkPad.
Okay.
And the way that comes out is, I guess, like Chaz puts input into that, and then it like directly affects what he's attacking.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. So you do that, and when you whip out your Lenovo ThinkPad, again, this is like you've seen this happen before, but it's happening a little more defiantly this time, where your Lenovo ThinkPad, you kind of feel like a warmth from it, and not because it's a fucking laptop, but like there's a warmth from it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see like a very dull purple glow around it, and it's almost like when you send your Jira task, whatever the fuck you just did, you can see like a purple dart almost heading straight for the Shrieker.
Nice.
And it didn't like that. It cuts a hole, like the dart goes straight through, like it like the bottom left side of its chest, and just like didn't like that. Is that sound effect?
That was good.
Once again, transported. Just
All right, Forbagorf, it's your turn.
So I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark, and by cast Hunter's Mark, I mean I'm gonna at that Shrieker, and I'm gonna tag him in this next tweet of trying to re-upload the same tweet, which is 14 damage total.
And which one you're hitting again?
The one that Karen hit earlier.
Okay. Yep. So tell me how. So this thing is dead. Why don't you explain how
dead it is?
How you attacked? Yeah. Tell me how you attacked it.
Yeah. So I tried to re-upload that same video, and it wasn't working on Twitter. So I uploaded it to YouTube first, and it got noticed by the actual Perfectly Cut Scream Twitter account, and then they reshared it, and it got like 100,000 views immediately. And I assume that the internal pain of all of those eyes viewing that Shrieker being smacked by a 40-year-old woman's clipboard caused it to implode mentally, and it exploded.
Similar to when Chaz attacked that last one, you can see that purple haze that came out of Chad's ThinkPad, it blows up. It kind of like, it looks like almost a bomb exploding inside the Shrieker, and it explodes in this like cloud of purple mist. Is that what you needed?
It was good.
I needed that sound effect before I could like fully process what happened.
What level of Patreon do we have to let someone get to when we can let them record our sound effects?
You see two kind of sets of 3 each swarm up from the tree line, so more are coming at you. You've got one more directly on deck who is engaged directly in combat with Chaz. And it is going to attack Chaz. Do you want to impose disadvantage again, Karen?
Yes. Karen's like in it now. She's like she's protected Chaz once or twice. She like killed one. Yeah. She's like jacked. The adrenaline is pumping.
That's awesome.
This is the best she's felt since she took that week of kickboxing classes.
You've successfully imposed disadvantage again, and the Shrieker missed for a 3rd time. So I'll tell you what, give yourself an inspiration point, because like you said, yeah. Karen's in it. She's in the zone right now, baby.
In this like amped up state, she kind of like is figuring out that her handbook and her clipboard do stuff now. She attacks the one that attacked Chaz with her clipboard, and she is going to what amounts to channel divinity. She's gonna like add some extra oomph to it and hit the thing. So I get to add I nat 20'd. So
crit on your attack. Nice.
I critted on my attack.
All right.
Yeah.
So 9 and 7 is Math.
16.
16 to it.
Kyle, tell me how Karen obliterates this fucking shrieker.
So she once again, like, I'm assuming because they're flying, right? So she kind of attacks up at it with her clipboard and just like rips it in half with a slice of light and her clipboard, and
amazing.
It just like I'm imagining it like kind of flying at her, and she like home run bats it, and it just like slices in half, and both halves like fall to either side of her. And once again, just amped as hell, is like, woo!
Awesome. So this thing just dissipates into dust.
Yeah.
You see that very familiar purple fog kind of like emanates from inside of it as it just kind of goes away. Allie looks over you and she's like, "Holy shit, that was amazing!" And then she high fives, or she goes for a high five. Do you high five her back?
Oh, absolutely. Like, does the like looks at her elbow, like gets the perfect high five. The smack of two palms meeting kind of reverberates across the deck.
Nice.
Thanks, Matt.
She looks back and she says, "Alphinus, patch our new friends up." So we'll say you all hear, it's pretty obvious, you hear another screech, but this time it's much more lower pitched and got a lot more, we'll say, volume to it. It's got a lot more oomph to it. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And after you hear that, you kind of hear, like, you feel like a rumble. You don't feel it, but you see like the trees kind of like birds scatter, and there's a rumble in the forest below. And immediately the shriekers stop. Like, they just stop cold. And the ones that were going straight after Allie, the one that was in combat with Chaz, stop. And they immediately start to flee. At this point, that means Chaz can probably get an attack of opportunity if you want to take it.
Yeah, I mean, I can still use my Lenovo ThinkPad. It'd just be with disadvantage since it's in melee. It's still pretty good attack. 15 to hit.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Actually, it's more than that even, so yeah. That is 11 damage.
Nice. We'll say, since it kind of turned heel, you blew off its tail. So you just like sliced its tail clean off.
Good.
And that little bit of a purple smog, as you hear like, and it just kind of like scutters away. You see Allie just start to jump up and down, cheering like, "Yeah, you bastards! There's more fire where that came from!" She's real excited. And Alphinus walks up and he says, "Allie, I don't think they're running from us." You hear another low pitched screech, and then it fades. A few seconds pass. There's a dead silence, and then boom! A huge tremor rocks the entire ship. So you just like imagine like original Star Trek. Oh, Captain!
Everyone stumbles one side.
Everyone stumbles one side. Can I get dex checks from the three of you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my good one.
That's not going to be...
16 for Chaz.
16.
Ooh.
Okay.
12.
Awesome. So all three of you, you guys have ridden the subway quite a bit in your commute to get to work.
Chaz has not.
Chaz has never ridden any public transportation, but the other two have. So you're pretty comfortable with kind of like bracing. You never lock your knees. You're able to brace whenever there's big movements, and you guys can all three of you keep your footing, which is good. As I said, you hear that loud, low-pitched screech. The figure of a gigantic winged demon appears in frame directly below the hull of the ship, and you hear Wedge saying, "Goddamn shrieker crashed right into us!" This giant winged demon looks very different from the shriekers that you just saw. You can feel a very powerful energy emanating from this creature. Allie just like drops, like just is paralyzed. Alphinus drops his staff. So Chaz and Forbes, you guys look at this monstrosity straight in the face. So remember how the old shriekers, like they look like zombies. They're just like sunken in. This looks much more like an actual person, like an actual human. It's got more human features. It's got a full face. It's got abs. This thing is cut as all hell.
And it's got bat wings, but this time they're not frayed. They're very full bat wings. Its eyes are like a deep ruby. And again, unlike the Shriekers were just kind of like moving erratically, they were kind of, like feral animals. This demon that you're looking at looks directly at you. It fixes its gaze on you. It doesn't say anything, but its mouth is open, and you can see kind of this like dark purplish steam coming from its figure. Let's see here. In its left hand, it's holding a big pitchfork with 2 prongs. Those prongs are like red hot, so it's like you can just see steam coming out of the prongs. And in its right arm, it's clutching some metallic object that again is glowing purple. So there's a constant theme here. Can I get wisdom saving throws from everybody?
Ooh, I think I've got decent wisdom, actually. No. 12.
10.
That's gonna be a 6.
Okay. So, Karen and Forbegorf, you see this creature open its mouth, but no sound comes out. Again, the screeches are over. Instead, you hear noise, but it's like it's coming from inside your own mind. And very faintly, you hear like a moaning. Marvis. And that's where we're gonna end today's episode.
Chaz poops. It's fine.
Okay, Chaz.
Yes.
Chaz, you are staring down this gigantic horned demon, holding a pitchfork, and its blue ruby red eyes look like they're just piercing your soul. You didn't hear anything. You heard just kind of like a low pitched mumble. It was just incoherent. But all of a sudden, you hear Allie next to you yell out, "What the hell is a Marvis?" How do you feel about that, Chaz?
I think Chaz sees all this weird shit going on around him and obviously understands that something's wrong, but that's like a thing that seems right in a world so wrong. He's like, well, it's long. Effectively, in like 10 to 20 years, it'll be my company, but like it's where we work right now. I don't know how this connects with what is going on right now. But yeah, it's one of the top rising stocks that you can purchase right now.
Stonks.
Stonks. Don't ask about the business we're actually in. We've actually been funding a variety of projects right now that have yet to get off the ground. Not important.
What's going through Forbes and Karen's minds right now?
Karen looks looks down at her Marvis and Marvis branded clipboard and Marvis and Marvis employee handbook and grows a little concerned because, it's the name of the company she works for, shouted out by this giant demon monster in an entirely different realm. She's shaken. Shooketh.
She's shook. Forbes, how you feeling right now?
I am looking for answers as to why this thing yelled Marvis. I have known the name Marvis for 2 weeks that it took me to apply to the job and then get the job and then get orientation. So I have no brand loyalty, and I would very much like to know why this thing knows my brand.
My brand.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you what you actually heard was my brand.
Look with your special eyes.
That joke was for 5 people, 4 of whom are on this call right now.
100%.
Okay, so Allie steps in front of you and she yells, "Stand back! I'm blasting this thing back to the 7 hells." So she starts casting. She starts making the same hand motions that you saw her make before, as she casts her gigantic fireball spell. Just for the meta, she's casting fireball at 4th level because Allie rules, and that's what she does.
Good.
She's the hero of this story.
She is the hero of this story. So as she is casting, you see that fire spell kind of come together. Give me perception checks from all of y'all.
Ooh, I'm great at this.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 10.
Okay, you got a 10. What else? What else are we saying?
Also a 10.
8.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Everyone.
so
Karen.
okay, so that's good. So the three of you, you kind of witnessed this all happen in real time. That fireball spell, while she's accumulating the magic energy for the fireball spell, the this monster, this shrieker monster in front of you, pulls out. If you remember, it had some sort of metallic object kind of like under its right arm. It pulls out that metallic object, and as it comes into view, it looks like a laptop.
What?
Oh no.
So Alice begins to channel her fire spell. Again, you guys see this monster pull out that metallic object, and you see that it's actually, we see Forbegorf specifically recognizes it as the standard issue MacBook Airs that the all of the creatives at Marvis and Marvis Worldwide are given to. So this is the standard issue MacBook Air that you should have gotten but did not receive because IT told you to come back later.
And later never came.
And I'll say, who got the 10 perceptions?
I did.
I was
Todd
one of
Matt.
those.
The Forbes and Chaz, you guys can even make out that there's a couple stickers on the outside with the logos of some of the more popular craft breweries near Marvis and Marvis's office. So what happens is Allie hurls her massive fireball at the winged demon. As it's about to land, the laptop opens. The lid of the laptop opens and explodes in a flash of color and sound. A deafening noise, which sounds kind of like ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. It's the dial-up noise. Followed by the familiar ding of a new email hitting your Outlook app, fills the air as the fireball deflects off the object and whoosh, soars upward into the sky. So, at this point, Karen, you see the shrieker immediately turn toward Allie and stare her down, kind of raises its arm. I'm going to give you the chance to do something here.
How close am I?
Let's say not 5 feet away. We'll say 15 to 20 feet. So far enough
Okay.
away that you need to do a move action, but you can definitely get to it.
I'll get in and
Okay.
put my shield up.
Okay. So you see this. You see what's happened with the rest of you guys, the non-Karen of you of folks in the room. You see this gigantic demon kind of raise immediately, like it's like one quick motion. It raises the laptop. The laptop explodes in that brilliant purple light, and then it raises its little pitchfork, like it's gonna thrust it straight at Allie. And basically, you see Karen kind of jump in. Karen, as shook as she was, immediately, just her reflexes are killing it right now, jumps in and tries to deflect the pitchfork with her clipboard like she did so many times before. Karen, I hope you have some help because, baby, this thing's gonna hit you.
Okay.
So here's what happened. So Karen tries to deflect it. Unfortunately, actually, well, let me see. It's disadvantage. Right? Yep, he's got you. So you kind of step in front of Allie and like kind of take the bullet.
When Karen ran over, she like muttered / yelled like, that laptop better be checked out when I get back. Like she's so mad that this is off company property.
Yeah. Oh man, this is so good, but it's gonna hurt so bad because I did not intend for this to happen.
Good, bring it.
All right. Okay, so as the demon thrusts forward, Karen jumps in the fray, trying to deflect it. Unfortunately, she doesn't, but she does take the bullet for her new friend Allie, and that's gonna do take 15 damage from that. Karen.
Oh boy.
Ooh, buddy.
Okay, so that was the beginning of our surprise round. So Karen, now that since you got that crit, that was your kind of reaction. Go ahead and take a shot. You're still running on that adrenaline, baby.
Yeah.
Take the
So now
shot.
I'm in front. I am hitting. I'm attacking the demon with the Searing Smite charged clipboard. I hit it with a 10. 5 of that is flame damage.
Okay. So what's gonna happen is, so Karen goes for a swing. I like to think that you're kind of like on the ground a little bit, and it's like kind of like lurching over you because it just stuck you with this fucking pitchfork that's like on fire.
Sure.
You know, so you're like trying to like get it off of you, and I think you go to swing, but as you swing, it looks like it's gonna make contact with its chest, but that laptop, the magic from that laptop, kind of like bursts out from it, and you see that purple light make contact with your clipboard, and things just kind of explode.
Okay.
And nothing really happens.
Okay. Damn.
Unfortunately for you all, Allie's still very upset and thinks that she's a lot more powerful than she is, and she hurls some insults at him, and he goes straight for the throat. He's actually like, while he's like next to Karen, you can see Karen, you see its tail kind of like go over you and try to hit Allie, who's right behind you.
Okay.
So let me roll for that. I'm gonna say, do you want to use your reaction to block it?
Can I cast? How
You can use your disadvantage thing, is what I think he's asking.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I'll do that.
Okay. I did roll disadvantage. Unfortunately, it does hit Allie.
So Chaz is going to throw in a Jira ticket real quick to subtract 5 from whatever that attack was.
Okay. Well, that's going to do it. So that Jira ticket goes straight out from your Lenovo ThinkPad and blocks like imagine a large like scorpion-like tail coming to pierce her, like going straight for her chest. And your Lenovo ThinkPad, the purple energy comes out of your ThinkPad and just kind of knocks it away.
What I did was in Chaz's mind, he looked up like a project that was issued to his buddy Phil in accounting, and it's like, oh no, I'm going to assign it to this guy. Like, you now have this. This is on your plate now.
You successfully reprioritized the development schedule. Good job.
Yep.
So the Shrieker is staring down Karen. Karen has now tried to attack this thing twice and clearly has broken some sort of barrier, but it doesn't look any less healthy. It just looks a lot more pissed. So similar to Karen, how you saw it lunge toward Allie, it's lunging toward you in the same way with that pitchfork.
Toward me?
Toward you.
All right. Bring it.
That's 21 damage.
Oh.
Straight in your gut.
No.
Yeah.
What did I do to you?
I'm also going to need you to make a con save, my friend.
14.
Oh, okay. So you feel as the thing embeds in your chest, you not only do you feel just like the hot metal going through your organs, but then you feel like a cold, like aqueous. There's a substance kind of flowing through your veins, and it's like your arms start to just like, they feel like they're on fire.
Oh, good.
You're gonna take 13 more damage as poison.
Jesus.
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm at 3 hit points.
Oh no.
And you are on the ground just writhing in pain.
Okay.
Allie immediately is like, "You bastard!" Now Forbegorf.
Yeah, so I felt really good about that last attack towards the Shrieker, and it got me nowhere. And I'm still really mad that I've been employed by this company and don't have one of those laptops. So I want to try and attack the laptop directly in anger with my BlackBerry. That's what I'm going to do.
All right, Forbes, roll that attack.
That's a 20, a dirty 20, but a 20.
Nice. Okay.
A filthy 20.
All right. So tell me, give me the flavor? Tell me what happens as you aim your shot true this time straight toward the laptop.
Yeah, so I'm going to do a quick IP address search for active IPs close to mine. And once identified, I am going to just absolutely meme bomb that laptop. I'm effectively doing a DDoS attack to that laptop.
That's perfect. So your massive tweet bomb or meme bomb heads straight for the laptop. It almost like the magical energy arm of the laptop, like that purple mist, wasn't able to deflect it in time, and your we'll call it magic arrow went straight through the laptop. You can see like a hole just like blasted in the center of it, and the impact of that explosion, or the impact of it hitting, nestles it right out of its hands, and the laptop falls to the ground.
Ooh, damn. All right, yeah. I got the laptop. I think we can attack the dragon thing. We got the laptop. Kill the bat.
You can I get a wisdom save from all three of you?
Yeah.
Shit. That sucks.
I don't know why you'd ask for such a thing.
Yeah.
It's not good. I think I got a 7.
13.
5.
Okay, so the three of you hear another low-pitched screech, and that kind of like that voice, like this monster opens its maw, but no sound comes out. But you hear in your subconscious, you hear this low-pitched kind of like groan. Again, the two of you that aren't Karen, Chaz and Forbagor, if you don't really hear, you can't make anything out. Karen hears marketing. And then as it gets super pissed now, and it takes both of its hands, now that its right hand is free, it takes both of its hands and it goes for like an upward, like a downward strike right on top of Karen with that pitchfork. Oh no. I rolled a 20.
Oh no, is Karen dead?
I think Karen's gonna die.
Wait until we meet the other woman from HR, Sharon.
She barely got to enjoy her flirty 40s.
That's another. I rolled. That's 15.
So 15 takes
14,
me to
so
negative 4.
29 damage.
Woof!
29 minus 11 puts me at negative 18.
Or 11 minus 29 is
negative 18.
Well, you're not dead. You're just unconscious and bleeding.
Yeah, so you've got a pitchfork. You are unconscious, bleeding, and there's a pitchfork standing straight through your body.
Oh, good.
On the hull of this ship.
So a normal Saturday night.
Yeah. Alphanus is able. You hear kind of like as your body grows cold and as your vision kind of fades away, you hear like like it's like that thing in movies when like it sounds like someone's going underwater and you just hear wah, 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 wah. You can hear Alphanus kind of like say like, don't worry, I'll save you. So the other two guys, they see like this like green orb surround Karen. Alphanus just exclaims to you, he's like, don't worry, I'm stopping the bleeding. You have to get this thing out of here. Let's say, so I had Allie go. Yeah, let's say Allie take another turn. I forgot to put Allie in the order. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Allie pops off another fireball. 29 damage. So Allie, now you see Allie pop off that fireball like almost like a gut reaction. The intensity of the fire is so massive that it knocks her back. She's on the ground. It goes straight for the Shrieker. Unfortunately for the Shrieker, it does not have a laptop to save its skin, so it goes a direct hit right into its chest. It knocks it back. You just hear like as it gets knocked back. It's like its left wing is covered in flames. It's like smoking. It's searing. This motherfucker is pissed. So that was
Karen on the ground in her green bubble manages a very faint and weak woo before like passing back out.
Okay, so Alphanus is controlling the bleeding, but Karen is definitely out for the count. Chaz,
he is going. So since the bleeding is being controlled, Chaz is still going to throw one change order, a level 1 change order at Karen. So Karen, ooh, that's a max hit back. So you get 7 hit points back, Karen. So you're positive 7 now.
Yay!
Woo!
she says with full excitement.
All right. So, Chaz, that's your turn. So, Karen, you start to come back to consciousness. You see again, like things sounded like you were underwater, and then you start to hear some clarity. And like in all war movies, when a mine goes off, you just hear that ringing in your ear. You hear a new voice that enters. The Exarch comes bursting in from the other side of the ship. And you see kind of out of the corner of your eye, the Exarch raises his staff, and this like massive purple light emits from the top of his staff, and it goes straight, like these three beams like interwoven together. They go straight for the Shrieker, and it kind of this brilliant explosion of light surrounds the Shrieker, and these purple like tendrils kind of come out and start wrapping around the monster. So you see its arms are bound together, its wings are bound together. It like starts to struggle and it can't move, and it starts to like go up and down because it's still flying in the middle of the air.
Right.
And it immediately just falls and sinks to the ground.
Good.
Yay!
And you hear,
Where was this guy? Where were you? Where have you been?
Chaz collapses like into just kind of a puddle of a person, and then pulls a Natterday out of his pocket. He definitely had a Natterday in his pocket, and cracks it open.
The Exarch then falls to the floor and nearly passes out.
Yeah, a lot of that going around right now. Wait, I'm actually in real life gonna crack my beer, so.
Karen is upright, but barely. Like a stiff breeze will knock her back over.
I think that while everyone else is sort of a puddle on the floor, I am in the back, still very vertical and very distressed about how real shit just got. Like, Karen just got stabbed.
Yeah, you saw this person that you've known for a day. You just witnessed die.
Take 3 trident wounds to the chest cavity.
I took this job to be snarky on Twitter, and I saw someone get stabbed today.
I think when Chaz hears that, he says, I took this job to do nothing and get paid a lot. And here I am doing something and getting paid nothing.
The Exarch is kind of like lying on the ground, and he's breathing heavily, and he looks at you, and while gasping, he says, I'm sorry you all had to witness it firsthand so soon. But maybe now you will start to understand the dire state of this world. These people are in need of champions. Gasp. And I believe you are those champions.
I think Chaz like lets out a big burp and like crushes the empty Natterday on his head, and he's like, fuck yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
He specifically looks at you, Forbogorf, and says, my friend, thank you for whatever that contraption, whatever that artifact was that it had. If you hadn't have freed it from its grasp, we probably all would have died.
Yeah, let's talk about this, Mr. Exarch man. What do you mean artifact? It was a MacBook Air. A MacBook Air that I should have, mind you. That should be my artifact, and I'm kind of mad that it isn't. I'm a little upset that it isn't, and Karen, I would like to talk to you about it. But
Karen throws up a whole bunch of blood right after Matt says that.
When you say that, and Ali and Alphinus are kind of like weird. They look a little weirded out in the fact that you know that, and the Exarch's kind of like shh. I promise, just be cool. Just be cool for like. I know this is very confusing. I promise I will explain everything. And then he looks at Alphinus and Ali, and he says, "Yeah, these guys are kidders." Anyway, well, we've successfully wrested the artifact from the Shrieker. Team, I think we'll be okay for now. Wedge, please get us the hell out of here now, please, and thank you. And he looks back at you and just, be cool, man, be cool.
I understand the universal language of be cool. I get being cool, and I will be cool, but I'm going to go to the edge of the ship and look over and see if I can spot the laptop on the ground, because I knew it fell from the Shrieker.
Can I get a perception check?
Yes. 11.
Matt Cole. A question for you, Matt Cole, and not Forbogorf.
Yes, Andrew.
If you are sitting on a plane, and you look at the ground, can you see anything on the ground?
You got to be that way. That's what you have to do in this fantasy podcast. You got to be that way. You had an option of how to be, and you chose that.
Well, I was gonna let him. If he got a crit, I would say that he could get it.
He got a crit.
Well, I didn't get a crit. I can't see shit from a plane. I don't sit in window seats anyway. Whatever. I get it. Yeah. Fine.
I also, to rewind for a second, I love the thought of like the be cool man when Forbergorf suddenly understands that. I think Chaz also understands that. The only person who wouldn't is Karen.
Yeah.
So Karen, if Matt is done looking for his laptop, Karen very much like stares down the sky and is like, I just got stabbed 3 times. If you want us to be cool, you got to start talking. That thing said the name of our company and marketing. Are we in trouble here? What's going on?
Yeah, he looks at you and he's very understanding. I understand you're frustrated. If I could right now, I would. I just can't. I promise you, once we get to where we're going, I will explain everything.
Karen, listen, I understand people are frustrated for a living. I need answers now. And like pulls herself up a tiny bit, like straightens her back as much as she can to like stand up to this guy. She's gone full Karen.
If Karen's going to like start rummaging after having stab wounds, Chaz will walk over and kind of like put his hand on her shoulder in a way that she would not contact her own office if he put his hand there. And then he says to the Exarch, "Listen, buddy." And like he like lowers one of his pairs of sunglasses down and says, "We'll go with you, but you're going to tell us what's going on, because I don't know why my ThinkPad was able to keep her from bleeding out. So you're going to tell us everything." And so Chaz is trying an intimidation check.
Okay. Are you counting this as an assist for Karen, or is it just separate?
I was just upright doing it.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Chaz is puffing out his chest. Well, that is that is going to be a 26 because because Chaz has that as one of his chosen special bard skills, and I rolled a 17. So
okay, fair enough. I hear you.
Chaz's breath is heavy with stale Natterday.
He looks at Allie and Alphinus. Allie, Alphinus, can you please excuse us? It is only fair that I tell these people, explain to these people what's going on. And Allie specifically is like, well, what the fuck? Like, we know, like, why are you chasing us out? Like, whatever you can say in front of them, you can say in front of us. And he's like, no, you need to get out of here now. So he kind of like, he grabs you, not grabs you, but he kind of like ushers you toward the edge of the deck. And imagine all 4 of you are kind of like all facing the edge of the deck, just kind of looking out, and you hear you hear the following. Okay, here's the deal. I know you are not champions. I know you are not heroes. I know you are from another world. Here's what you don't know. This world is in danger. And it's not just because of those winged monstrosities you just witnessed. The very fabric of reality is tearing at the seams. Strange anomalies have come and gone, leaving traces of things that don't belong in this world. And some of the traces, those things that keep appearing, are things like that artifact that you saw, which you called, what did you call that again?
It's a MacBook Air. Why do you keep calling it an artifact? It's just a laptop.
Whatever it is, I don't know what that word is, but whatever the device is, these items, these artifacts, as we've come to call them, have been appearing everywhere, and they have great magical properties. That laptop, if you remember, it was kind of the source of its power. So when you tried to attack it, what happened?
It blocked all our attacks.
Exactly. So these things have been happening all over this world because of these, what we've come to call artifacts. And me and my team here, we are trying to protect this world, and we're trying to gather these artifacts together. I can explain, I can give you all of the juicy information, I can give you all the information you want, but you have to trust me, and you have to come with me to a more secure location.
And who are you that we should trust you?
The Exarch.
That doesn't mean anything. That's nonsense. Is that like a manager or something? What are you the manager of?
I'm not really gathering your question, but actually, this might make a lot more sense. So Karen, as you are kind of like asking him all this, you see out of the corner of your eye this massive blue, translucent looking tower in the distance. It goes up like it goes up much higher than you think it should, based on your knowledge of like physics and like
Sure.
and general the general properties of things. Beneath the tower, you can see this like bustling metropolis. Excuse me, and there's these like crystalline spires that protrude out. So imagine like a gigantic crystal tower with these like smaller crystalline spires that are coming out of place. And the Exarch looks at you and he says, "You want to know what I'm the manager of?" That.
Is this one of Bill Gates' 5G towers? What is this?
So Exarch looks at you, Karen. He says, "Thank you. I promise I will return your kindness very, very soon. But for now, allow me to welcome you to Charlea, the crystalline city." As the title card wipes in the front of the screen, and you see Charlea, the crystalline city, and you hear awesome background music in the background.
There's new music. There's
Right.
a whole new part of the map highlights now. And
Yeah.
The fog of war clears off of the majority of the map.
Everything auto saves.
A 45-second cutscene plays as you see people milling about the city. You probably see some construction workers carrying 2x4s. There's more than likely not, you're going to see some strange alien-looking races at what looks like to be a marketplace. People are peddling wares. It does not matter what those wares are. Some are food, some are jewels.
But that's it, food and jewels.
It's a fucking fantasy city, guys. Like you know it. This game.
It's fantasy Chicago. It's got all the things.
It's whatever you want a crystalline city to look like in your mind's eye.
There's definitely, you can spot out as your ship approaches closer to the tower. You can now, Matt, start making out things on the ground, so you can see people moving around.
Don't point that out to me specifically, you asshole.
You see a series of open air stalls, implying that that's like a bit of a marketplace. You see a group of soldiers lined up in rows practicing spear maneuvers against a series of dummies. You can see out kind of in the outskirts of the city, you can see what looks like a ranch that's populated not with horses, but strange winged beasts. And your airship heads toward the backside of the tower, where this big platform protrudes out. Looks to be kind of like a helicopter landing pad almost. And you see this just like cluster of people, but they're not humans. They're all this variety of seemingly alien races huddled around the landing pad. The ship lands on the landing platform, and you hear the muffled screams and applauses of the crowd outside. As you all walk downstairs, so you're all following right behind the Exarch. Wedge and the other guys and your old friend Lamit and the twins are all there. Everyone's there. They're kind of like single file heading down to the edge of the bottom side of the ship and walking out. As you guys start to walk downstairs, the door opens and that muffled applause turns into a thunderous like din of cheers and screams and applauses. Among the chaos, you can pick out certain phrases like "You did it! They're here! We're saved!" As everyone's walking out, the Exarch turns back to you and just kind of like puts his hands up, just like hang here for 1 second, and you hear the Exarch address the people. "Good people of Charlea, I bring you good tidings and even greater news on this day. The state of the world is worrisome indeed. All of us have experienced loss in one form or another, and have had to quickly move on in order to survive. But today I bring you a glimmer of hope in these uncertain times. You can soon rest easy, because today, my friends, we have taken the first steps on ending this war." Cheers, applause.
Chaz is also applauding.
He gives you a thumbs up behind his back. Honored citizens of Charlea, allow me to finally introduce you to the heroes of prophecy. Please welcome with open arms, they who circled back, the champions of Randar Lead.
Yeah, Chaz steps the fuck out. He's ready for this moment.
And he looks at you again. He says, "May I remind you, I asked you to please play along."
Karen queen waves.
Queen waves?
Reluctantly plays along. She's playing
All
along.
right.
She's not.
Chaz
happy,
is like
but she's
pointing
playing
out
along.
into the audience like he knows he sees people that he knows.
Yeah. So you guys are eating this up.
I walk up behind Karen and Chaz and say, "Pretty fucking cool. Love to take a picture. Shame I don't have my fucking phone."
Chaz, as he's still like pointing and posing, goes, mental picture, bro. Just lock that one away. This is our moment.
The champions of Randar Lead? What? What is that? Crazy. That sounds really cool. Anyway, episode 3 was really fun for me. You'll find out soon. Episode 3 is all about that sweet, sweet exposition. This is it. This is when we're getting the story. We're finally figuring out what's happening. Cue sinister music in the background. We get all the gory details. This is also the point where it became very clear to Matt, Todd, and Kyle that was like, oh shit, like we're doing a thing. Like we're doing a story. There's bad stuff, and this is not just the goofs. Like we've kind of passed the point of like Matt's just doing fun tweets about orcs or whatever. Now, of course, there are certainly plenty of goofs here. This is intended to be a comedy show, but it is always fun to see the look on your players' faces, like exactly at the point where they have officially invested in your storyline, where you get like just like a natural reaction to like, oh shit, I'm like, yeah, that's something I wrote. Pretty cool. Also, I know I'm not supposed to do this, but like we're like 2.5 hours into this episode, so it's probably fine. So outside of our intro and outro, all of the music used for this is royalty free, except there is one Final Fantasy audio Easter egg hidden. See if you can find it. Here's episode 3. All right, so each one of you have been introduced. Again, you have been introduced as the heroes of prophecy, aka they who circled back, aka the champions of Randar Lead. So the three of you are now being lauded and applauded. You like that? Lauded and applauded as the heroes of lore. I'd like to go around the horn and just tell me a little bit what your character is doing, what your character is feeling, specifically Karen, who's died and come back to life.
We're still like on this stage with the Exarch getting cheered at?
Yeah, you're coming off the airship, you're on like a landing platform. You are also very high above the ground. You are on a platform that is protruding outside of a gigantic crystalline tower. So you don't have a lot of place to go except for forward and back into the ship.
Karen is doing what was asked. She is playing along. She is not happy if you're on the stage with her. She is visibly annoyed, but to the crowd, she is a stoic, waving paladin standing by her exarch in this case. She's, a good HR person standing by her leader, but she has concerns when the doors close.
Karen, you hear somebody toward the back yell, "Oh my God, it's Karen Pardue, the helm splitter."
She, nods. She's
someone else.
Chaz mutters under his breath, "Helm splitter is fucking metal."
And she nods a little more agreeably at Chaz, like she, yeah, it's cool. She knows some of this is cool, but she's peeved right now.
Some other guy kind of runs straight to you, like okay, imagine you guys are like at a concert, right? And there's like security that's kind of like pushing the crowd back. Somebody like rushes the gate and starts yelling like directly at you, like, "Karen, how did you get out of that massacre? How did you take out those 20 orcs by yourself?"
Just a lot of hard work and I ate my vegetables. You know, she's
Chaz in his head is counting. He's like 20 orcs, huh?
And then so Forbegorf, how's Forbegorf doing right now?
I think I am trying to honor my agreement to be cool because I understand the be cool contract. However, I think that I am standing back from the group a little bit. And I'm out on the terrace, but I am not on the front lines waving, and I to the crowd would look like posed and heroic, but up on stage probably look pretty irritated. And the Exarch took my safety blanket away when he took my phone, and so now I am hyper focused and hyper vigilant and trying to figure out what exactly the fuck is going on.
Just then you see a small boy. He doesn't look any older than like 7. He rushes up to he's under he actually runs up right past one of the bouncers, under the bouncer's arm, and he has a little scrap of paper. He looks like he's basically wearing just a cloth sack. He's a grimy peasant, and he's got a little torn piece of paper, and he goes, "Oh my god, yeah, mama, it's Forbegorf, the sun piercer. Mr. Gorf, can you please sign my and he just hands you, he's just shoving this crumpled piece of paper into your gut.
Yeah, I look confused, but I don't want to. I feel confused, and I don't want to hurt the little kid's feelings. So I take the paper and write FBG on it and hand it back.
He's so excited he throws up.
In my head, with those initials, that means your middle name is Burr. Just
well,
for Burr Gorf. Excuse me, I am for B Gorf. Thank you, FB Gorf.
Well, your first name is Freddie, right? It's Freddie. Yeah. Freddie Boar Gorf.
Well, I think at the very beginning of this, we determined the last name was Borgers.
Oh, that's right.
Like you would order from McDonald's if you were the main character of Despicable Me, Borgers. So I think FBG in my brain was just the abbreviation for Forbegorf and had less to do with my actual name.
Cool. Chaz, how's Chaz doing right now? Give me an update.
Chaz is just drinking this in. He's just taking it. And since he
this
gave
is the
up
praise Chaz has longed for his entire life.
Yeah, this is the positive affirmation that he never actually got from his father. And so since he's no longer wearing his blazer, it's just him and his button-up shirt that's buttoned down 3 buttons, and he's just taking it all in, throwing air high fives to no one who's there.
Chaz, you see on the left-hand side of the crowd, you see a small group of I don't know, middle-aged women, we'll call them, and they're just swooning.
That's Chaz's thing.
Yeah. Do you want to give them one of your patented finger guns, point and wink finger guns?
Oh yeah.
You see what you imagine to be their husbands come over, and they kind of grab their wives, and they say but they're kind of into it. They're just I guess that's why they call him the silver-tongued ghost.
Ooh. That's more finger guns.
It'd be like if Todd and Shannon met Ryan Reynolds in real life.
Yeah.
That's how this interaction actually goes down.
Yeah, you both would just say "ravage me."
Yeah. Collectively at the same time.
Cool. So you guys want to do anything else while you're sucking in all this good vibes?
I checked my phone because I felt a phantom vibration. Multiple times.
There's nothing there except for your own thoughts.
Yeah.
Karen's still waiting for the proper time to process the trauma of being stabbed 3 times in a fight.
That's fair.
But
she's fine now, but she probably won't sleep well, is what you're saying.
She's got her game face on, but she's ready to yell at somebody.
That's fair.
She's ready to yell at a manager.
So you guys
about to go true Karen.
The Exarch is kind of ushering people along. He's thank you. Yes. Please give our new friends some room. They've come from a great distance to be here with us. And it's time to give them a well-deserved rest. So you walk into this elevator platform.
The lift takes you all the way to the top of the tower. You can see as the chamber, that massive chamber, starts to become smaller and smaller as it leaves your view. And you open into a much smaller, more understated room than you saw in that big welcoming chamber below. The Exarch looks at you. He says, "Welcome to the observatory. I use this as my office and my personal chambers. Please come take a seat. I'll tell you everything in here." Okay, so you see the Exarch. He's like furiously, like he's cleaning up a little bit. He's like clearing stuff off of his desk. But he also does like a couple weird things. So he checks out a window. He's like reaching under desks and lampshades, like he's like feeling for something. Can I get some not passive perceptions, some active perceptions?
Ooh, that's gonna be an 18.
4 or 5.
Okay.
15.
Nice.
Chaz and Forbegorf, because you guys watch tons of spy movies, it's pretty clear that he's looking for like listening devices.
Okay.
Shoot.
Sure.
Yeah. And then he looks at you guys and he winks. He says, "Well, never can be too careful. Please sit."
You got a bit of a bug problem in here, Mr. Exarch guy?
Yes, Forbegorf. Yes, I told you this is why we. Okay. Listen. Here's the deal. He closes the door. Thank you again, thank you, friends, for trusting me this far. I like I said, I promised I would tell you everything. The fact of the matter is, this world is in danger, and there aren't a lot of people who know truly what's going on. And it's not because it's not anything evil. It's nothing nefarious. I'm not trying to hide the truth from anyone, other than the fact that I don't want people to know that the fabric of their world is unraveling. I think the Shriekers is enough of a chaos that people can deal with. That's really all people have the ability to handle right now. So again, I thank you for trusting me, and now we can speak in candor. First off, you are not champions. You are not heroes. I understand that. Whatever the prophecy, the stuff that you heard me saying, that's nothing. You are from a different world than this one. This so much I know. This world is in danger, but and like I said, it's not just those winged monstrosities. Our worlds are colliding. Let me explain. It started very small. The first recorded event was outside of a small village not far from this city. There were reports of a loud boom, followed by what looked like a magical portal appearing unprompted out of thin air. The portal dissolved as quickly as it appeared, but it left a small object. The object looked like a small dart with some colorful synthetic substance coating the upper half. It was not able to be determined by any of our mages. Scholars far and wide came in to try and investigate it. The mages took the strange artifact to study it. They took it apart. It seemed innocuous. There was really nothing to it, but after a while, after studying it for so long, they started noticing some strange side effects. The more time that the mages spent with the artifact, the more that they felt it. You can tell that he's starting to look actually distraught. He looks down. It's the hunger. These artifacts, they don't belong in this world, and as such, they have a very strange and powerful effect on it. You all saw it when you fought that massive shrieker. Normal people in this world are drawn to their energies, and in turn, the artifacts feed on their actual life force. So next, you see the Exarch. He gets up. Again, he's looking. He's kind of shaking. You can sense. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but you can sense there's a lot of emotion behind what he's saying. He has seen this horror firsthand. He grabs his staff and he waves it in the air. So you guys imagine, if you would, the three of you are just sitting on inexpensive chairs facing his desk, right? Mm-hmm. Imagine, like, if you look directly up, this kind of viscous cloud starts appearing directly on top of you in the center of the room. It looks like it's just heavy smoke, but then colors start to form. The colors become more and more defined, and they start to take shape, actually piecing together to form an image. So what you see in this cloud is a dark room strewn with books and other alchemy supplies. Again, very similar to what you see here. You can tell it's not the same room, but a lot of the same gizmos and gadgets. One very distinct thing that you notice is a detailed image of a circle drawn in red dye on the floor. You can make out the shapes of 4 humanoid creatures appearing hunched over. Now, at first pass, these look like just normal people, right? But as you continue to look, you can see that these figures are very withered, each covered in variations of dark, stringy hair. The shoulders are sunken in and their knees are buckled. One of the figures is facing toward the image, and you can make out its melted-looking face, and its eyes are black, like opals. It's very clear that these are, if not the exact same, very similar to the Shriekers that you saw on board the airship. Way back in the fourth figure all the way to the back, you can see the beginnings of a wing popping out its shoulder. This image just kind of sits there in the room. There's a dead air, there's a stillness about it, and the Exarch sits down and he says to you, "This is the last recorded image of those mages after weeks of studying the artifact. Soon after recording this with a seer stone, the local guard attempted to confine them away from the artifact, hoping that they would change back. They didn't." He pauses for another beat, and he waves the cloud away, making the image dissipate. So, as this happened, reports from all over the countryside came in about these strange portals appearing and leaving similar objects in their wake. We tried to warn folks to stay away, but you can probably fill in the rest. So, I would imagine you've guessed it now. Those winged beasts that you fought on the ship, these are the Shriekers, and they're the result of the artifact's power over this world and its people. Which brings me to you.
The champions of Randall Lee.
Sure. Until you all showed up, the anomalies were limited to objects. And now, knowing that the voids have gotten large enough to transport living, breathing people, I fear we have even less time than I originally believed we did. So my team and I were able to develop a way to contain the artifacts. As concerning and worrisome as these void portals are, we just don't know that much about them. The immediate and present danger are, of course, the Shriekers, who have become a disease plaguing our people. Fortunately, this city is defended by a strong barrier, but those outside of the town's protection aren't so lucky. I've built a team of volunteers here among Charlea's citizens that have been seeking out these anomalies and collecting the artifacts before they fall into unsuspecting hands. One of these artifacts, I imagine, is likely that word that you used. Was a Mac
Laptop? A laptop.
A laptop. Thank you. That laptop that you saw on the deck of my airship, that's one of them. And you have seen its potential. You have seen its power. These things cannot end up in the wrong hands. Otherwise, we're going to have more problems. This war is going to go much longer. However, the fact that I've built a team is really not enough because, again, as you can imagine, they are as much danger to my team as they are to the local populace. That brings me back to you. I don't understand why you're here. I don't understand the science behind these portals. And to be honest with you, I don't know how to get you back to where you belong. I know that I said I did and I lied and I'm sorry. I don't. But what I do know is that you all seem to be immune from the artifact's influence. And not only that, you seem to be able to wield their power. So no, you're not heroes. But from what I saw earlier today, you might be the only people that can help save this world. So will you help me gather these anomalies and slow the spread of this scourge?
Chaz missed the last bit of it because he was counting the natter days to make sure all 3 of them were still in the pockets that he has cut out of the blazer.
Karen grabs her things, her clipboard and her handbook, and very kind of earnestly asks, do we need to be worried about our things having a corrupting influence on this world, like the MacBook did?
At first, when I first saw you, I was originally afraid that the anomalies were your equipment. But then I saw you all in action, and I saw you wield their power, and I sense a very different energy. from you all. And then I figured out that the anomalies were you. So from what I can tell, it was a little bit of a risk of bringing you all to my airship, but it didn't seem to have any effect on me or my crew. So I'm going to assume that the answer to that question is no, but I wouldn't freely hand out your equipment or maybe just disguise the fact that you're using artifacts if you could. I don't think people could handle it right now.
So, I have some questions for you, Mr. X-Art guy. You keep saying that we're not heroes, but then when you introduced us earlier, everybody seemed to already know our shit. And I've only been here for like a few minutes. What the fuck's the deal?
Less time than you've worked for Marvis and Marvis.
Yeah.
So that's also a great question. And again, thank you, Forbagor, for being willing to play along for as long as you did. There is a prophecy, and I'm personally not very familiar with it myself. There is a prophecy that says 3 heroes will come to save us from the Shriekers. And I know that a lot of the populace believes you 3 to be those heroes. Do I believe in prophecy? I do not. That said, I understand prophecy's place in the world and its ability to give people hope. So when I introduced you as the heroes of prophecy, I was playing into that hand and trying to give my people some semblance of hope because they just experience so little these days.
Well, this is some sort of prophecy, because listen, man, like, I'm gonna level with you here. I don't tell anybody that my real name is my real name. I tell everybody my real name is Forbergorf. But I don't think many people are picking the name Forbergorf out of a hat when they put together a prophecy. And some kid out there called me Forbergorf, which makes me think that maybe this prophecy is a little bit more serious than your average prophecy, because I don't think anybody would guess my name to be Forbergorf. Guy.
I've met 4 Forbagorfs in my time. I don't know why you think you're so unique. There's a Forbagorf, literally, like, he's our custodian.
He pops his head in the room and goes, hey.
Okay, valid point. Leaves me with more questions than answers, but I will ask those questions later. My last question is, you're pretty confident that our artifacts won't cause any harm to anybody, right?
I'm not confident, friend. I'm telling you that from what I've seen, it appears as though you all have control over these. These artifacts feel very different than the artifacts that we've encountered thus far. But I don't know that. I don't know what would happen if I touched your map top. I don't know. I'm just trying to, like I said, there's not a lot of things that bring us hope these days. And from what I saw on the airship, it seems like you guys have some sort of control over these items that nobody in this world does.
I'm just saying, you asked us to be cool, and we've been pretty cool. And this whole time, you have lied to us about whether or not you could get us home. You've led us on. I just saw you lie to a whole city full of people. And I don't know that I trust you about what you're telling me with these artifacts.
And when I came in here, I had 4 natter days in this blazer, and now I only count 3.
Karen kind of steps in and is like, forgive these guys. They're not quite used to dealing with things on this level. Chaz, you had 3 natter days. You told everyone you had 3 natter days.
I go, Karen, be cool, Karen.
I don't. Even if you didn't, doesn't look like you're getting your natter days back. Forb, sometimes people gotta lie when they're in positions this big. It's not pretty. It's not nice. But he did what he had to do to get us to get us to help. And I think helping him is our only chance of getting back home. He's someone we need on our side. We can't be picking fights right now, because none of us know what's going on. So calm down a second.
Thank you, Karen. I appreciate your ability to trust, despite the fact that you super died today.
Yeah, I'm not over that, and I'm not happy with our situation, but you seem to be the only person here who has a shot of getting us home. So for now, my hands are tied, and I'm helping you. But don't think that means I trust you.
Fair enough. Friends, if there's other questions that you have, I will answer whatever I can. I do, once more, I apologize for having to lie to you. I hope that you understand why I did what I did. But this is the situation that we're in. I don't think anyone thinks this is an ideal. Are there any other questions? Metagame this. This is your guys' chance if you want to try to get more information. Now's your opportunity.
The question that I guess the question that Chaz would have is, I mean, if we are being entrusted to solve this problem, like, where do we start?
Karen has a much more specific and kind of clarifying question first, before we get into more more of that.
Let's hit Karen, and then we'll go. Does
before we get our
Forbergriff have anything?
quests.
I don't think so. I haven't taken my phone out of the box yet, so I'll go ahead and grab my phone out of the box and turn it back on. But I don't have any other questions right now.
It's still updating. All right, let's hit Karen first, and then we'll go to Chaz.
When I woke up this morning, I could not shoot beams of light, generate fiery damage out of my clipboard, or protect anyone with my employee handbook. They were standard office supplies. What's going on? What is this power we all seem to have? Forbergorf is shooting arrows out of a phone. Chaz is healing me with a laptop. Healing me from significant damage with a laptop. What is I admire your healthcare program here, but what is this?
Chaz is like moving the ThinkPad like it's closed, and he's moving it around like an airplane, making whooshing noises, and then he blows off the top like he's blowing off a pistol that was smoking. He goes,
Yeah. I love that Chaz is just like all in already.
yeah. Oh, Chaz doesn't need any. He's like, whatever. This is awesome.
All we needed was to feed his very shallow ego.
Yeah, he checked his box. He's in.
Oh, that's so good. Okay, let's address Karen's question. So the Exarch goes to explain. Right. So Karen, excellent question. So what you're referring to is what we expect to be, or what we assume to be, the magnificent power that what we're calling these artifacts have. These artifacts are things that we believe to be from your world. So your maptop, your MacBerry. I'm sorry, was it a MacBerry?
It's a MacBook. It's a laptop.
MacBook.
Getting real tired of explaining simple shit to you, Exarch man.
Okay. I understand you're angry. It's been a tough day for all of us. These devices that you have that you wield, Karen, your clipboard also. These items that come from another world, they have some sort of extra planar abilities here on this world. I don't understand them myself. They're well and above the magical items that our mages and our scholars are used to. The properties are quite literally an anomaly to us. We don't really quite understand them outside of the fact that they have a devastating impact on the people of this world, and they iterate in things like what you saw today, both for you and against you, quite honestly.
So Alfie and Allie, do they have artifacts?
Nobody on my team is using an artifact. However, the city of Charlea and its crystal tower were built to be a safe haven for our citizens. Do you remember? Did you see crystal spires as we came in? Do you remember that at all?
Yes.
Chaz says very sarcastically, "Yeah, a couple."
Great. He doesn't catch the sarcasm. Great. Thank you, Chaz. Specifically, you, Chaz. I appreciate your your ability to listen.
Chaz takes the compliment.
Those, of course, aren't just for aesthetics. They're actually channeling energy to a magicked barrier surrounding the entire city. That barrier is siphoning the power from the artifacts we've collected thus far. And he shows you a larger container that looks a little bit like that chest that you saw. That's like, imagine it's kind of like wired into like this gigantic contraption that's coming outside of the tower. So he basically, you understand that the artifacts that they've collected are channeling their energy into the barrier that's protecting the city.
Sure.
Okay.
Anything? So we have metagame this. We have another question from Chaz. Is Karen good at this point?
Karen is... no further questions from Karen. Karen is satisfied.
And Chaz actually has 2 questions, but I'll let Forbergorf, if he has questions, go before.
Chaz. I do have a question. How many artifacts do you have?
We've only gathered a couple thus far, Forbergorf. The last I counted was, and he uses his fingers, 6, I believe. That said, that brings me into my next point, which is where you all fit into this equation. As you've seen and as you can imagine, collecting these artifacts is very difficult for us because the power that they hold over the Shriekers is the same power that they hold over us mortals. Anyone in this world can potentially become a Shrieker if they are succumb to the power of the artifacts long enough. So it's obviously been very slow. He chuckles. So my assistant Lina, actually, she's got a list. We've got a list of all the artifacts that we believe have been tracked across the countryside based on reports that we've heard. My hope is that we can look at this list and divide and conquer, and we can use you as the front lines in trying to collect these artifacts, because again, they seem to have no power over you.
So we're gonna be your fetch monkeys. In our world, we call this a fetch quest. You're gonna send us on a fetch quest?
That I am, yes.
Would it make you feel better to think of us as treasure hunters? or to think of this as an advanced form of geocaching?
When Karen says treasure hunters, Chaz goes tight. And then when you say geocaching, he goes, never mind.
Any other questions for Forbergorf?
That's all I've got.
Okay. Chaz?
So Chaz's first question was, where do we go next? I guess we're here. We're your heroes. I was called the silver-tongued ghost of something. I'm in. You got me.
Thank you so much for listening this long. I know we do a lot of chunky episodes, and this one is by far the meatiest one that we've done yet. So seriously, we all appreciate it. A little background before we get into the last episode here. So this next episode is actually episode 5. That's because episode 4, which comes canonically next, was an experimental side story episode. We recorded these short solo adventures with each of the 3 players. This was my attempt at giving each of them side quests, so to speak, which I talk about a little bit in the episode, but I always like the idea of having this kind of like side hustle. I'll say though, they're not super relevant, at least for the rest of this content. The only one that has any kind of story relevance right now is Karen's adventure. Long story short, Karen found a stable within the city that was home to a bunch of these like fantastical flying creatures. We make the connection that they're basically Falcor from the Neverending Story. Spoiler alert, they're basically Final Fantasy chocobos. Anyway, so Karen got a flying mount. Pretty cool. Meanwhile, Chaz convinced some dudes at a bar to make fantasy slack, and Forbergorf inherited a pirate radio station. That's kind of it. There's nothing really more else there. It's a fun episode. You get to hear the very clear delight in Matt's voice when he learned that he was being given the role of fantasy shock jock radio host. The other thing is, consummate professional that I am, I recorded that whole episode on the wrong input, so it sounds like I am speaking like on a toilet in an active construction site this whole episode. It's kind of rough to listen to. So anyway, I'm going to save you from that. Episode 5 is the thrilling conclusion of our story thus far. Each of the side stories ended with this massive explosion outside of town. We might see some more fighting, Might even see a frightening adversary return. Huh? Enjoy episode 5. Today, we're going to finish what I imagine is the first major arc of this story. So this is the thrilling conclusion of session 1, episode 1, campaign 1. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. So we ended each of your side quests with the same event. A massive explosion, as Todd alluded to. You heard a massive explosion on the west side of town, toward the edge of the city. Karen was by proximity the closest, and then Chaz headed after that, and then Forbegorf closely behind after announcing to the world to the nation over the loudspeaker that this is happening. Just for D&D storytelling purposes, you're all gonna get there at about the same time. So
cool.
With that, we're gonna jump cut right into explosion. You guys are gonna go investigate. So let's start with Karen. Karen, you have left your lovable Woodstock. I'm sorry, I almost forgot the name. I'm so sorry. You have left your lovable Woodstock. You rushed headfirst into toward the explosion. You see a woman decked out in military garb who is leading a troop of soldiers through the gates, and it's just pandemonium. It's chaos. People are running. People are panicking. You're seeing armed guards heading toward the situation. This woman, she looks at there. She points. You there? You're one of the Exarch's esteemed guests, yes?
Yeah, I'm the helm splitter. And I kind of swing my axe clipboard enthusiastically.
Oh my gosh! My God! It's the Karen, the helm splitter, the champion of Randar Lead, the one from the prophecy. Ma'am, if it's not too much to ask, will you please take up arms and help us? We are outmanned by the Shrieker army, and I fear we might lose the city tonight.
Yeah. Tell me what to do.
Meanwhile, Chaz and Forbegorf show up right behind you.
I've got my crew here too. We're all ready to help. I'm volunteering them before they can say anything.
Wait, what are we doing? What's happening? What are you volunteering us for?
She's about to tell us.
Champions of Randar Lead, I am humbled to make your acquaintance.
We are the champions of Randar Lead.
Shut up, Chaz. I need to know what she's saying. What are we doing?
Chaz has a slur right now. He's had a lot to drink.
Classic silver tongue ghost. I am Lina, and I'm head of the city guard. Listen, the barrier will hold them back for the short term, hopefully long enough for at least us to evacuate all the citizens. But if the barrier breaks, we will need someone to hold the swarm back.
No, we're gonna hold that.
Yeah,
we got it.
We'll hold the swarm. Sorry, I thought there was more.
You see the Exarch, your old buddy, the Exarch, appear. He's kind of coming from behind, from the same distance or the same direction that Chaz and Forbegorf showed up. You hear, Lina! Oh, thank the gods you're safe. Well, I see you've met our guests. I will help evacuate the population. Can you lead the champions to the barrier wall? I feel confident they have what it takes to stop this menace. Linus says, Sir, I do not understand what that means, but you have my full support. With me, champions. You hear as you leave, Forbegorf feels a little tap on his shoulder, and the Exarch's whispering in your ear, it seems as though now as good as time as any for us to test my hypothesis. Shall we?
What? Huh? What do you mean?
Chaz puts the pint glass that he stole into his messenger bag with the other pint glasses that he stole and says, let's do it.
Matt, the GM is telling you that what he was referring to is the fact that he believes that you guys have the power to stop the Shriekers.
Yes,
I wanted you, Matt Cole, I wanted to make sure that you, Matt Cole, knew that. I don't care if you, Forbegorf.
That's okay. That. Yes, me, Matt Cole, knows that. I get it.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome. So just a quick check-in. All right. Awesome. Let's do this. So the office shows the three of you head with Lina toward the city outskirts. As you make your way toward the barrier, you are seeing, again, absolute chaos. People are fleeing in all directions. There's yelling, there's screaming. There's little children in rags that are tripping over and yelling for their mothers as they're getting stampeded by other citizenry.
That was really dark.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a bad time.
I have seen movies. Anyway, chaos. I actually have in my notes that people are being trampled by panicked citizens. So,
Ooh.
yeah, I don't know. I wrote this 3 months ago. I was in a much different place.
Karen is going to like help anyone who's like fallen who isn't trampled yet up.
Yeah.
And kind of try like as we push through, also is directing traffic a little bit and just like
I like that. Can I get a little let's call it a persuasion check. It's not really persuading, but like I think you're just trying to. This is just Karen to like take leadership. Like, come on, everybody, like
it's
chill
very
out.
like, all right, form an order.
Single file, yeah.
Yep, single file. Here's the
Yeah.
exit. Like let's go.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
a 9.
Let's say with a 9, you probably got about half of the group's attention.
Sure.
But there's still like the real assholes that are just kind of like doing whatever.
I'm gonna stand up behind Karen and shout like, "Hey, assholes! Come on, get in line!"
Why don't you roll an intimidation?
10.
You see specifically there was one guy who's carrying like a lot of toilet paper, who's just like, "What? I brought this from home.
Topical.
Chaz looks at them and says, "No, you're not doing it right." And he says the exact same thing Forbergorf said, but just louder, because that's what he's used to doing to getting things done.
Great.
Is just repeating someone else's good idea.
Roll that with an advantage then.
Oh, baby. It's an 18.
Great, you did it. You fucking did it. Everyone immediately snaps to attention, and we're like, "Oh, that was a really good idea. I'm glad that second person said that thing for the first time."
I
Get
brush aside a
absolutely
quaff of
fucked,
hair.
Chaz. Just get absolutely fucked.
I lean and say
excellent.
the trick for success is just saying what other people say, but louder.
That's excellent.
That's it.
I'm looking forward to just Chaz getting credit for all of the stuff Matt and I try and do this whole game.
Yeah. All right. So as you guys head out, you hear a familiar voice. Hey, it's the fabled heroes. You come back for more blood? What do you say we get some more shrieker skulls?
Is that the lizard from the airboat?
Well,
It
it has
sure
to be the
is.
lizard man from the airboat.
It's not the Scottish accent.
It's not a Scottish accent. It's one of 2 voices you're going to get in this whole campaign. That's Lamette. Remember Lamette? He was the engineer on the airship.
Yeah.
I spelled his name L''mit, like kind of like the reverse of
Lamette.
Milady. It's Lamette.
Lamette. So Lamette's joined the party.
All right.
Cool.
What do you want
Let's
to do? You want
go.
to say anything to Lamette, or are you just going to nod
Yeah.
heroically?
No, we're gonna let's kill some shriekers.
We
Fuck
got
yeah.
shit to do, Lamette.
Let's save some lives.
Fuck yeah. All right. I'll paint this picture for you. So you guys are out in the slums, right? Yeah. People are gone. You can see remember that the city is covered by a barrier. So nothing has been inherently destroyed yet, but it's an invisible barrier. So you can see exactly what's going on.
Can I ask
And
wait, hold on, sorry. Can I ask a weird logistics question? When
Sure.
you say surrounded by a barrier, I get that it's an invisible barrier, but is this a big ass invisible wall, or is this a dome a la Wakanda?
Wakanda.
Got it. Thanks.
It's super Wakanda. This is okay. If we're gonna play it that way, this is that scene in Infinity War where all of the dog monsters, the dog aliens, are trying to get in under the barrier. This is that.
Cool.
Nice.
So what's happening is you see, just like that scene in Infinity War, you see just like a black mass, and what it looks like, what it looked like in our world is a mass of bats, like maybe like exiting a cave or something. But as you guys know, these are not bats. They are much bigger than bats and much more terrifying than bats are. And again, that's actually exactly what I had in my mind when I was thinking about this. It's like that idea, like I love this visually, just the idea of these things just like charging headfirst without any care, like without any realization what they're doing. They're just like single-minded focus on getting to you.
Yeah.
They're just like slamming into the barrier. And you can see it, like you can imagine it, but you can just see just like right?
Yeah.
Is that fully for you? So it's a pretty horrific sight, I would say.
Yeah, just kind of a meat grinder of these bad bodies smacking this barrier.
And you can hear that kind of like high pitched squeal, kind of like a bat, but like a big bat would sound. Just then, a mighty screech echoes from outside. That lower pitched screech. It's unique to the bat-like shriekers, but yet immediately identifiable, as that same screech from the Shrieker General that you fought aboard the Agrius, which was the airship.
Was that the one that had the MacBook Pro?
Yeah, the one that had the MacBook Pro. You see right there, cue boss music, the Shrieker General appears, essentially like in a veil of smaller Shriekers, expressionless, whips out the Marvis & Marvis issued MacBook Pro laptop, holds it with both hands toward the barrier wall. You see nothing really happens, but after a few seconds, that familiar dim kind of purplish glow becomes brighter and brighter as the general is channeling more energy into the artifact. A dark purple beam is then immediately emitted from the laptop straight to the barrier wall, and it starts cutting the barrier in half like a welding torch cutting through metal.
Awesome.
Lina looks at you and yells, "Go! Stop the monster's advance! We'll hold back the rest of them." Let's roll some initiative.
Karen runs in. Yep.
Is Limit a beefy lizard or not a beefy lizard?
I don't have a good answer for you.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how battle ready does Limit look?
Okay, I'll tell you, Limit is a monk. So like he's a monk ass monk. He's got a staff and he's gonna do monk things.
Cool deal.
Like it.
Okay, Karen, 19?
Mine's very low.
Mine's not great either.
What are they?
I rolled a 9.
Oh, okay. See, mine's a 5. Actually, wait. With modifier, it's an 8. My bad.
Well, Limit got a crit, so
Good job, Limit.
Hey, Limit.
Limit's the best character on the team.
Forbes and then Chaz is last.
Limit, what are your office skills? Can we take you back to our world when this is done with?
Okay, so Limit's gonna go first. So here's what happens. Limit is going to charge head first, right at the Shrieker General.
What a choice that is.
What a G.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit. I mean, he's good at a lot of things, but tactics is not one of them.
All right.
So he's gonna go ahead and attack. That's gonna hit. What happens is Limit charges forward with his spear, and he does like an anime-ass jumping dive, right? Like right into like the side of the Shrieker General.
Nice.
Just trying to cut him off on the arms, cut him off on the wings, like whatever he can do. Now normally, you guys have seen this before, unfortunately. Now normally he would have done 9 damage. However, what happens instead is the Shrieker General, as he is wont to do, deflects with his MacBook Pro. So you see that purple aura. Now, if you remember last time, you guys were like actually doing damage. This time, though, when Limit jumps and leaps at him, you see a purple force field just repel him, bounce him away, and he gets pushed away. Now he's knocked on the ground, and his staff is on the ground. It is the Shrieker General's turn.
Shit.
I'm sure he'll fly right past Limit.
He's not going to do that.
He decides to go home and reevaluate his life choices and leave everyone alone.
He apologizes. He says he's sorry.
Chaz yells, "Limit, play dead."
He absolutely hits.
Oh no.
For sure.
Limit's gonna die. How tanky are monks? I haven't played enough D&D to know.
I mean,
they can be like dodge tanks, like dex tanks, if spec'd right, but they're not the best. They're meant to get in, do a few hits and run away, kind of like a rogue is.
A monk plays kind of like Winston.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you for translating that into the game I play. I really needed that.
That's for anyone here
that's very good.
who in the Venn diagram enjoys D&D and Overwatch.
So Limit got hit with Limit got stabbed actually with the Shrieker General's pitchfork. You may remember that white hot at the end of it pitchfork. The
Karen
one that
remembers
like
quite well.
that almost one shot Karen. So it only did 11 damage.
Oh, good.
So Limit was able to take the hit, and he's still standing.
I am going to yell, I still want that goddamn laptop, and then I'm going to shoot an arrow at that laptop.
Okay. Give me a d20 roll.
No, that's company property.
That is a 19.
Ooh, 19.
Yeah.
Good hit. That is going to hit. So let me roll that demo.
That beautiful bean footage.
Yeah.
That is 5.
Okay. So remember I told you how it was holding it with two hands?
Yeah.
So let's say your arrow, your BlackBerry tweet or whatever it is, magically turns into a colored arrow, a light arrow, and pierces right through its left hand, and you can see it just like hit the MacBook, and its hand it kind of reels back and like shakes its left hand like rah. Yeah. So it's still holding it, but it's only got one hand.
Cool. Don't forget, we have to get the laptop. We need the laptop. Chaz?
Chaz, in the midst of all of this, looks at him and is like, what? Me specifically, what?
I know how many pint glasses are in your bag, Chaz.
You don't know shit. He says, and they all jostle. If I actually had a pint glass,
one breaks.
Damn it. So there's the big monster. Are there other monsters? Just the one?
Nothing. We'll say no.
Okay. If there's
they're there, but for flavor.
Okay. Then I'm going to run up behind Karen and Limit, and I'm going to I'm going to identify some key performance indicators for him, which that spell is heroism. And so I'm going to slap them both and say, the way we're gonna measure success today is by you hitting that monster a lot and not dying. And so what key performance indicator does, it's the spell heroism. I'm going to cast it at level 2, and so both Limit and Karen at the beginning of their turn get 3 temporary hit points every round.
That's awesome. And I love that flavor.
In my mind, it's like there's a power. I pull up my Lenovo ThinkPad. I'm like, and there's just like them, and there's a line that says hitting a lot and not dying with green thumbs up, and then what? Then the opposite with like sad frowny faces.
So does that stack? Do I get 3 new hit points each round, or
you only get 3 ever at the max?
Okay.
Yeah.
Limit's turn.
He gets 3 temporary hit points.
He's got 3 temporary. He feels like a new man, a new lizardman.
Limit Lizardman is actually his last name.
So he gets up. He grabs fortunately, his spear was in arm's length, so he's able to grab his spear. He stands up, and let's just say for flavor, he does that thing that like MMO fighters do, where he like curls up and then just gets up, just springs up with his feet.
Yeah,
the thing that we all tried to learn how to do at some point in our lives.
Yeah, exactly. Let's say, and then so Karen, I recall you are kind of like standing in between him and the Shrieker General. Mm-hmm. So he's gonna just kind of sidestep to your right and just take like a battle stance and try to get another swing in on the Shrieker General.
Okay.
He does not.
Even
with bless.
After he goes, Karen's gonna just kind of remind him we're aiming for the thing he's holding. Yeah. I am going to, with my clipboard, swing at its what we cut off its left hand. I'm gonna swing at the other hand.
Yeah.
And with divine smite added to it.
Nice.
So roll to hit. Crit fail.
Probably won't do it.
Probably won't be doing it.
So he, instead of he's had enough time now where he's kind of like regained his grip back on the MacBook Pro.
Okay. That'll be my...
You should have 2 attacks.
I do have 2 attacks. I will attack again. That is a 18.
18. That actually connects. So you swing your clip-backs board.
Clip-axe board, yes.
And you're aiming for its right hand. Well, unfortunately, time elapsed, so it kind of regained its grip. But you're able to snag its right hand this time.
And I will
so similar result.
And I will cast Divine Smite, adding 2d8. Nice. So 7 plus 5 is 12, plus 5 is 17 damage.
Cool. So this looks pretty rad. You snag its right hand, and it kind of it kind of recoils a little bit. But you see this like purplish greenish flame that starts to burn on its right hand, which looks pretty sick.
Nice.
Cool. So it's confirmed still holding the MacBook. Yes.
With one hand.
With one hand. All right.
If this were a video game, the camera would zoom in on its one hand still holding the MacBook Pro.
I am going to fire off another meme bomb tweet text arrow at the MacBook, but I'm going to cast Ensnaring Strike on that arrow. And that's going to be a 21 to hit.
That's going to hit.
Cool.
Where are you aiming, my dude?
I want to aim at, directly at the MacBook.
Cool. You do so. Similar to last time, it kind of goes through its other hand and makes a crack in the MacBook. And you see that purple aura shatters as the MacBook falls to the ground.
Cool. And because of Ensnaring Strike, I imagine that mass of thorny vines is going to appear from the MacBook and coat the MacBook in thorns.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, so if the Shrieker wants to pick the MacBook back up, it's got to make a strength saving throw. And if it holds it, it takes 1d6 of piercing damage at the start of each turn.
Okay, so you hear from a shout from far away, the voice of Lina. Nice work. If you can somehow stop the monster, stop whatever it's doing, we can stall enough time that we can activate the Crystal Tower's defenses.
We're gonna do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
So that's your new action now. So you have solved my laptop puzzle. So Limit has advantage. Wait, no, he has disadvantage. Never mind. Limit just says bless.
Yeah.
Well, Limit crit.
My dude.
Heyo.
Tight.
Woof.
Limit crits Lizardman.
So I Limit crits. I like the fact that this character is very anime, so I'm going to continue that thread and say that Limit grabs his spear and runs up the monster and does a hop off of it, the side, flips in the air 3 times, and then strikes back down and jabs its spear right into the Shrieker General's eye.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
It looks sick as hell.
Legit Limit. That's what we're calling him now.
Legit Limit crit Lizardman.
Our party's going to be carried by NPCs.
I mean, yeah.
I didn't turn on my lights, so I can't see my dice.
The bulb in our guest bedroom has been out for about
9
a week,
plus 4.
and I just won't replace it.
So it's 13. Oh boy. 13 plus 12 is 25. Plus another 4 is 29 damage.
Dang.
Heyo.
Oh, Limit.
I just beat myself. Limit looks at you, and you guys see the screen turn to widescreen, and he looks back. He just turns his head and he goes, "Lights out."
Chaz goes, "Oh," like a cold chill goes down Chaz's spine.
Yeah, it was super cool. Okay, so that was Limit's turn. Well, the Shrieker General is unhappy. Now remind me, what debuffs does Shrieker General have at this point?
It has
Just
disadvantage on just its first attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a spear in its eye.
Okay.
And a spear in
So-
its eye.
Instead of attacking the Shrieker General, because it has a spear in its eye, just grapples Limit, and unfortunately, he definitely did that. He wins that grapple. So here's, I'll kind of walk you through what you guys see. So the Shrieker General now that it is unfettered by MacBook Pros, it grabs Limit and holds him with two hands, and you can see like its spear-laden face just kind of like ooze over top of Limit while he's like struggling in the grasp. You see the Shrieker General doesn't really say anything, but it kind of retches its mouth open and oozes this dark purple like vomit out of its face.
Good.
It's fine.
And that ooze goes right into Limit's mouth.
Oh no!
Oh no, Limit.
You see his skin just turns like pale white as the Shrieker General just throws him to the ground, and Limit's just like laying there, kind of convulsing. That's the Shrieker General's turn.
Oh boy.
Damn.
That's not. It's not chill of it at all.
You pissed it off.
Well, to be fair, Limit pissed it off.
Hey, Karen.
All right. So Karen, so it's like Limit and the Shrieker General are kind of off on their own.
Yeah, we'll say you're a social distance away from them at this point. And Limit is laying on the ground, and the Shrieker General's full attention is like vomiting this ooze into Limit.
Okay. Karen is going to shout at the Shrieker General, casting Compelled Duel on it. So you've got to pass a wisdom save. And if you don't, you
21.
have to fight me. 21. That's not gonna do it. And then on my second turn, I am going to run over to it and attack it with my clipboard.
Okay. Give me a roll.
11.
11 is going to miss.
Okay.
So while it doesn't have its cool purple aura anymore, it is still a big scary monster.
It still has an armor class.
It still has an armor class. Forbegorf, you see Limit lying on the ground, very unanime-like, and Shrieker General still kind of hunched over top of him.
I'm gonna yell at Karen and Chaz. You guys handle that guy. I'm gonna go get my laptop.
Hell yeah.
And this is the part of the show where I imagine one of them asks, "How are you gonna do that?" And I'm gonna respond with an over-the-shoulder look of, "I'm going incognito mode," and then I'm gonna cast Pass Without Trace.
Stupid.
Oh, I love this stupid thing that we created.
Same.
All right, are you invisible, or is this just a stealth increase?
I am invisible. Everything within 30 feet of me is invisible. I can't be tracked except by magic, and I have a +10 to Dex.
When you say everything within 30 feet of you is invisible, what does that mean?
Each creature I choose.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know Pass Without Trace buffs your stealth. Does it make you invisible?
A veil of shadows and silence radiates from you, making you and your companions, or masking you and your companions from detection. So
it buffs your stealth so much that you might as well be invisible because you get a +10 to your Dex.
Yeah.
Or to your stealth, yeah.
And then I'm gonna make a mad dash for that laptop.
Can I get perception checks from everybody?
Don't forget you can add your bless to this. Not that it'll matter for old Chaz.
6.
I got a 13.
17.
I'm rolling hot, stinky garbage today.
The not Karens in the room. While this is happening, you hear the sound of a weapon charging up, like a. Imagine
the high-pitched sound of anime things charging.
Imagine, if you will, the Death Star laser, like the Death Star laser, gaining energy, slowly collecting energy. You hear that, and then look back and see that in the Crystal Tower. The Crystal Tower is collecting a ball of light energy.
Good.
Tight.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
It's fucking this is rules. You see the Shrieker General has kind of like he's done vomiting black ooze or purple ooze into Lamette. Poor Lamette. He's got a belly full of ooze and a whole host of problems.
He's just got a boot and rally, he'll be fine.
Yeah, totally. So Chaz, when you cast that healing word, you start to see Lamette's body twitch a little bit, like he's trying to get up, and then he starts to get up. However,
he's totally fine.
He's totally fine. Everybody's happy. It's very unnatural. And he's like, imagine a zombie getting up, right?
Would this be anything that triggers a paladin's divine sense? Would Karen being a paladin and near him kind of be like,
let me explain you what you see.
Okay.
And then we can resolve that. So he kind of shambles up a little bit, like leading with his shoulders, and his arms are kind of hunched over and his face is kind of hunched over. And then he turns his head and you can see the same features that you've seen in the other Shriekers, the sunken in face, the coal black eyes. And then he emits a wail of a shriek.
We lost Lamette.
Chaz goes, piss.
You hear Lina, keep the monster at bay just a little longer. We'll fire the cannon.
All right.
That's what we're going to do.
I am going to get my whistle and summon Woodstock.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We need to cut in some majestical steed music right here.
Consider it cut in.
Yeah. Okay, what do you want to do with Woodstock?
Well, I'm going to get on Woodstock. I'm going to fly and fly up in the air, and I am going to cast something fun from the back of Woodstock. Let me see what I got here.
For the folks at home, if you're playing along, the visual exercise here is to imagine Kyle's character riding, which is effectively a Treyu from Neverending Story. Just flying around, whacking at this bat monster,
yes,
which is very, very good.
I am actually going to just fly up, kind of still near the general, but away from Lament. What's his name? Lament. Thank you.
Legit Lament crit lizard.
I blanked on it. I'm gonna cast magic weapon on my clipboard for next turn. And just get up in the air, buff my weapon, and get ready to wreck things next turn.
Forbes.
Yeah, I'm gonna retrieve that laptop and then I'm gonna run the hell back to the high ground where I belong.
Yeah, you are. Let me get a stealth check.
Oh boy.
Please.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Don't forget to add your 10 and your D4.
Yeah, so that's 16 plus 6 is 22 plus 10 is 32. Yeah. That's a 32 on stealth.
That was a formality just to see if you rolled a crit fail.
Yep.
So correct me, and this is your spell, so you're just going to cancel it out, yeah?
Yeah.
Thorns?
Definitely.
Okay, cool. So you use your entire bonus action to yoink that laptop away. It is securely within your grasp, and you are unharmed. Great job.
Thanks. And I'm going to use... Can I use a movement to get back to the high ground where I assume I was?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, you can.
Cool. That's where I am.
Cool. You are back in safety. Okay, so you guys have the laptop. The weapon is charging. Karen is on a mount. All things are coming. It's all coming up Millhouse. Chaz, what do you got?
Well, first off, as just a free action, I'm going to stop pointing out to Karen and Limit the key performance indicator of not dying, because I feel like Limit might hurt me. So I don't want him to have temporary hit points anymore. Okay. I am instead going to put both Limit and the scary flying screaming monster on a tight timeline, which is Bane. So I need them both to make charisma saving throws. They need to beat 14.
Man, good on me for rolling like fucking garbage.
You mean to tell me the scary flying monster and the possessed lizard man don't have great charisma scores?
They don't, believe it or not. The scary flying monster did not pass. However, Lamit Zombie did.
That's fine. So the scary monster, every time it attacks, it is going to take a D4 negative to its attacks and saves.
Nice.
Nice.
With that, it's Lamit's turn because Lamit is alive again. So
I look at him and say, "Be cool, man."
Lamit did that zombie thing where it looks at you and it rushes straight toward Chaz because right now Forbegorf is, I think, still invisible.
I
or at
am
least
definitely
very
still
stealthy.
invisible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still very stealthy.
And Karen is flying. She's playing Neverending Story. So now he doesn't get -4, right? Because he didn't get Bane. That's what Bane
He
was?
did not get baned.
Okay.
He's technically actually still blessed. If we're really going to split those hairs.
Well, he got a 21. So
Well,
yeah,
that's gonna just barely get me.
just nick you, huh? So he's coming right at you. He
heard those
charges at you. He does 10 damage with his spear. He knocks you down with his spear.
Come on, man! My pint glasses.
While he knocks you over, you're on the ground and he's standing over top of you and he's just like like frothing purple goo at the mouth and his eyes are coal black.
He's about to vomit in your mouth, Todd.
Yeah. Yeah.
You act like I haven't dealt with vomit before.
I think I see this from the shadows and yell out of turn, Chaz, for once in your life, close your mouth.
Karen, swing away, my dude.
Yeah, so Karen is going to swoop in to striking distance and swing at the Shrieker General with her now magic clipboard. There we go. 26.
There it is. Okay. Kyle, tell me how you hit this thing. Like what are you striking for?
I am striking at its, chest head area. I probably just like a through its upper torso. And that's gonna do what's a D8 plus 5 plus 1 plus so for 11.
11. All right. Let me narrate what happens here. So you are in an awesomely epic sky battle with this Shrieker General, this flying winged demon. You take your clipboard,
light blazing from my clipboard.
light blazing. Yep. Yeah. This fucking Hercules shit, right? You swing you take one baseball swing, you miss. On the other one, you kind of take a backswing, like a backswing uppercut. You go down to the left and up to the right. And when you connect right at the Shrieker General halfway through, and that explosion of magical energy from your whatever you cast,
my magic weapon.
Yeah, your magic weapon. Thank you. That magic weapon knocks it back. So you see that little purplish explosion that hits right in its chest, knocks it back, and as you can see, the barrier kind of like opens around it. Makes like a nice little hole.
It can pass back through the barrier.
It push it back.
Cool.
my Bim Bam reference.
Yeah.
Just then, within like half a second later, you see this massive blue laser.
Yeah.
Come swing right by you, like it just like singes the tips of your hair, and it just pile drives right into that fucking monster, evaporating it into nothing.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Sick.
Yeah, Karen gives a very just a woo girl woo and is just flying around up there still.
Yeah. Take your moment. You deserved it.
I do. I did.
However,
consider the moment taken.
There's other things happening.
Nope. I won.
Forbegorf, we ain't out of this yet.
Yeah. I am going to cast Ensnaring Strike again, and I'm gonna shoot at Lamit. That's a big number. That's That is a 25 to hit.
Yeah, you got him. You got him,
Hit
baby.
limit.
Yeah.
That's my reaction every time I roll over like a 16 and then have to add things to it. I'm like, that's gonna be
a
a
big
high
number.
number.
Yeah. So that's a 6 for damage, and Lamit is now covered in thorny vines, and he's gonna have to make a strength check every turn, and if he fails the strength check, he's gonna take 1d6 of pierce.
Okay. So you have effectively turned the tables. So Chaz is safe from being purple gooed, and now Lamit is restrained and lying on the ground.
I feel like I should commune in some way. Like, are we trying to save Lamit, or are we killing Lamit? What are we doing here, guys?
Just aim for like the thigh. Just incapacitate him.
I'm looking to see if I've got anything, and like the best I could try is to cure poison or disease with lay on of hands, but no, I think if we can't dispel whatever goop he's gotten, we gotta kill him.
I don't want to railroad you. I'm not in this game to railroad you, even though that's only what I've been doing. I will tell you, as your GM, you guys aren't very familiar with all this stuff. Obviously, this is not your world, but you were intimately familiar with the story of, like, that tons of scholars and archmages have tried to figure this thing out, and they have not yet. So it is probably more than just normal ass magic. You can certainly try, but this is just me telling you.
We gotta
that.
kill Lamit, is what you're saying.
Good.
Zombie has bitten Lamit.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. I just said you can't cure him.
Andrew told us to kill Lamit.
Andrew said kill the lizard.
The Exarch said we can't save him. Gotta kill him.
If the Exarch wanted his lizard alive, the Exarch would be here, but that bitch ran.
I think what Andrew is pointing out is probably Forbegorf and Chaz have seen at least 2 zombie movies and are aware, like, he's been bit. You got to kill him. Those are the rules.
Yeah, so I'm gonna shoot another arrow at Lamit. That's also gonna be a gigantic number. Oh my god. Yeah, that's gonna be 28 to hit.
Barely got him.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that'll be another D8, but because he's already below hit points and I'm a Colossus Slayer, it'll be another D8. So that's going to be 4 damage.
Matt,
Andrew,
how do you kill this innocent lizard?
you've seen zombie movies.
I have.
Tell me how Forbegorf puts down Lamit.
Well, Forbegorf has seen zombie movies too, and Forbegorf knows you got to aim for the brain, baby.
Remove the head or destroy the brain.
Zombies don't die at the thigh. So I can imagine that Lamit is.
I've never heard that before. That's good.
I just made that up. Thanks.
Really good.
I imagine that Lamit is ensnared in these vines, but like still kind of standing over top of Chaz. And I'm gonna have an excellent Hanzo moment of pulling that bowstring back on my phone or whatever and shooting a tweet arrow straight through Lamit's eye. Just like direct hit through the eye into the brain to cease all movement from legit Lamit crit lizardman. May he ever rest in peace.
Rip indeed. F's in chat, everybody.
F's in chat.
So Lamit, you can see him writhing in that set of vines, and he's like grasping at everything, and that arrow just goes thunk, just, and with that, Lamit's dead. You guys won.
Yeah!
That's a weird string of emotions to throw in there.
Yeah.
Lina shows up. She's running, and she looks and she says, "Oh, Lamit." And she just kind of she pauses. She looks down. She has a moment of silence. Then she looks at you. She says, "Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of our heart, thank you. I don't know what else we would have done. Now I get it. I don't know why, but you all." You're the champions of Randar Lead. The Exarch knew it, and thank you.
Chaz is counting his pint glasses to see how many he actually lost.
Karen is still flying around, but yells down, "We're sorry about Lamit."
I am admiring my company-issued laptop, which after the longest first day on the job ever I now have.
She actually, yeah. So she looks at that and she's like, kind of like a little kind of jumps back in horror. She's, is that an artifact? How are you holding that?
Oh no, it's cool. I got two. I got this one and that one.
She bows,
says,
like groveling to.
We're
Yes,
not
yes.
worthy.
yes. The Sun Piercer. You're gods. You have lived up to your name. Please, can you all please come with me? We must see the Exarch at once.
Yeah. Is someone gonna take care of this? And Chaz is just like nodding at the brambly dead zombie.
I'll
lizard
take
man.
care of. I'll take care of my friend. You did what you had to do. I have seen zombie movies before.
Yeah, we have all seen zombie
We've all
movies.
seen zombie movies. We know that zombies don't die at the thigh.
You have to shoot. That's actually I have that's like on a little. We have that written up on the back and a bumper sticker back there.
Yeah,
I feel
It's
like
it's in a
that's
tapestry.
That's if we have any more NPC or character deaths like that, it's gonna involve us like putting a fist to our chest and saying, "We've all seen zombie movies before." Like, that's the solemn like may he rest in peace.
Good stuff. Okay, so you guys all head back to the Exarch's office in the Crystal Tower. Let's just say cut to, in the interest of time, you guys are sitting with the Exarch's office. Karen, Woodstock is outside, I guess? Or
I landed and then like sent
Okay.
Woodstock back to the ranch.
okay.
Yeah,
Wait,
cool.
important pause. I didn't want to correct
Yeah.
this and take us out of battle, but earlier you said that Woodstock is Atreyu from the Neverending Story, and Atreyu is a dude. Woodstock
Oh,
is
shit.
Woodstock
Yeah,
is
you meant the
Falcor.
flying. Yeah,
it's
I
Falcor.
meant Falcor. Thank you. Yes.
I didn't want to like break the flow of the battle, but I was like, Kyle is not riding a boy. Kyle is riding a sky dragon.
You don't know.
I appreciate that on both counts. Thank you. Okay, so cut to Exarch. So Forbogorf, Exarch asks, "Are you gonna hand over the laptop or do something
No,
with it?" Or?
this is my goddamn laptop, and I have
That's not
worked
your
at
laptop.
It's my company issued laptop.
It's
That's-
mine. I found it.
I feel like
brought
I
it from
deserve.
home.
Fine. The Exarch tells you, "Thank you all for your courage against these abominations. While today was a terrifying look at what's to come, I do believe we have taken the first steps to finally ending this war." He shows you a map, and the map, like any start of a new series, the map has a bunch of red circles all over it. It's a map of what you can imagine to be the world. And he says, he points to the map. He says, "We've got reports now all across the continent of these artifacts, just like what you're holding in your hands, Horgorf."
That are mine and that I will not give back. That are very
We'll talk
much
about
mine.
that.
You've already put a decal on it.
We will talk about that later.
Yeah, there's a bumper sticker. It said, "We've all seen zombie movies. Zombies don't die at the thigh."
He points to one circle in particular. This one, I think I want you to investigate first. Earlier this evening, I was informed that a once very friendly village of orcs has taken up arms against one of the local populaces. Now, while I understand this is not typical of traditional shrieker behavior, we've gotten reports that this band of marauding orcs have started worshipping a dark grimoire.
What?
Like a book. It's a book.
It's a book.
Why didn't you
With
call it a
pages?
book? No, wait. Why?
It's a
You're in a fantasy world,
It's
Dick.
a fancy
Let
evil
me-
book.
No,
for
this
Let
is-
me
Grimmer.
play in my space.
This is Forbergorf asking the Exarch, "Why didn't you call it a book?"
He looks at you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Karen
I never
kinda,
know
like,
what you're
puts
talking
his,
about.
Puts his hand on his shoulder. He's like, in fantasy worlds, a grimoire, calling it a grimoire usually implies it has magic powers.
Thanks.
Chaz kind of shrugs and says, "Would have been faster to call it a book."
Thank you, Chaz.
The Exarch kind of just isn't listening to you, and he opens up a desk drawer, and you see him pull out a small key and puts on some gloves. He then takes that key and pops it into a small compartment under the jeweled top of his staff. Remember his staff that's like magical or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The jewel opens up, and you see there's an item inside.
It's a mosquito.
It's a mosquito. He looks at you, says, "I'm sorry,
if it appears that I've been leading you astray. I truly did not know it would be relevant until I heard what was written on the book.
Thank you. Thanks.
I don't yet know how they're related, but see for yourselves. He pulls out the item in the jewel and shows it to you. It's a business card that reads, Melissa Ferguson, Director of Marketing, Marvis & Marvis Worldwide.
Melissa. I remember her.
I lean over to Karen and say, like, hey, I think I met Melissa, but I don't remember. Which one's Melissa?
She gave you the branding grimoire.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the branding book. I think we're calling them books now.
It's Chekhov's brand guidelines, if you will.
I mean, a branding guide would truly be an evil book with bad powers. So
Yes.
yes, grimoire.
Yep.
So that's the end of our very first arc.
Nice.
Woo!
Woo! So a little bit of foreshadowing there. Next time on Forbegorf and the Office Drones, we're gonna go to marketing.
Nice.
Is the X-Arc powering anything else cool with forbidden technology? Do we need to know about this?
Yes, we
Oh,
talked about
well.
this. He's powering the entire city based on these
Oh
artifacts.
well, I guess I guess
Yeah.
that makes sense then.
So that's why he's asked you to collect them. So eventually, that Mac laptop will be used to power the water supply. I assume.
Sure.
I meant more like is he hiding any special things for him? Does he have like jump boots that are powered by the staple that fell from the sky?
We will find out next time.
Yeah. When we see inside the X-Arc's Ghostbuster safe in the basement of the Crystalline Tower.
It's like he's got a gun that shoots the hole punch holes that you have to empty out.
Yeah. You don't know his real name. He's a shady character. What can I say?
I'm stuck thinking about The Office, where he's like, you don't even know my real name. I'm the Lizard King.
I'll admit the Lizard King.
Aw, pour
Not
one out.
anymore.
Yep.
Yeah,
Nope.
Rip. All right. Any last comments, questions, feedback, suggestions?
When this is all over, we're gonna do a supercut of all the NPCs we've lost along the way with Sarah McLachlan's music in the background.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody listening, and thank you so much for donating to our Patreon and supporting us, and those of you who are active in the Discord or just watching it all go down. We super appreciate all of you. Keep on debating.
Stealing office supplies.
Zombies don't die at the thigh.
Zombies don't die at the thighs. See everybody. And that does it for this massive director's cut of The Office Drones Chapter 1. We hope you enjoyed it. And since you sat through it for this long, I'm going to take the opportunity to pitch you. If you want more Office Drones, then consider joining the ranks of #ButtThwompNation over at patreon.com/debatethiscast. For $5 a month, you'll have instant access to the entire backlog of episodes, which at the time of this recording is 16 episodes. And just to give a little more context, I'm doing these like anime arcs. Surprise! So after this initial arc, there is what I was calling the marketing arc, which is teased at the end of this last episode 5. That marketing arc finds our heroes investigating a town overrun by orcs in a multi-level marketing scheme, stealthing their way through a castle filled with guards who talk like Monty Python characters, and even a choice encounter with another Marvis & Marvis employee. Interesting. And we got friend of the show and also DM a very, very awesome real play podcast called Natural Toonie, Tom Zalatni. Tom was able to join us for a couple episodes as guest Shaz. Right now, as of the time of this recording here in November of 2021, we are in the middle of the next major arc, which I'm calling the finance arc. Probably are picking up on a trend here. Our heroes have found themselves trapped in a deadly tournament where victory can only be earned by death. Because everybody knows the most financially responsible move in entertainment is to make an anime tournament arc. Oh, and we also recently had on Eric Silver, who is DM of the Join the Party Real Play D&D podcast. That was a whole lot of fun. He played a swarm master, or swarm mancer, and he was basically a ranger with a bunch of bees
which was pretty rad. Anyway, one last time, that's patreon.com/debatethiscast. If you can't swing $5 a month, that's totally fine. We get it. Instead, maybe you just consider telling a friend about our show. As we said, word of mouth is the absolute best way to share our show and our content and what we're doing. So we'd love if you could do that for us. Next week, we're going to be back with a normal DT episode. Until then, thanks for listening, and remember, zombies don't die at the thigh.
Music for Forbegorf and the Office Drones is provided under a Creative Commons license by composer Ozed. Opening track is The Day Time Ran Away off of the album Friendship Adventure. The closing track is On Our Way off of the album Dunes at Night.